They've been supporting their clients for over 30 years with locations in several communities throughout the southern part of the province. B&A Petroleum is available for all your bulk fuel and lubricant needs with propane at selected locations Monday to Friday. And don't forget, their Cardlock location is accessible 24 hours for your convenience. B&A Petroleum. Fuel you once, fuel you forever.
They seem so innocent, so little, so tiny, until they gather up about 400,000 of their friends and then fall from the sky with the force of 1,000,000 half-ton trucks. When those little white balls of hate swing by your farm, you'll be happy you have Co-op Hail Insurance. Affordable rates and adjusted claims are paid out quickly. There are 400,000 reasons to count on Co-op Hail Insurance. Contact your local Co-op Hail agent or use their online buy direct option at coophail.com.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Regina Motor Products, proudly serving Saskatchewan for over 70 years. Visit rnpchevrolet.com today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the show for June 11th. Topics that may be covered on today's sports program include baseball, drinking beer, eating hot dogs, music, mullets, getting fined for being bad at work, getting punched in the face, the Netflix show Tires, fighting fellow Oiler fans, Jason Aldean's set list, betting money you don't have on sports, and country singer John Party. I'm just saying those are some of the things that we can cover today. How you doing? Thanks for spending time with us. It's Maz in for Barney today. He's out for the rest of the week trying to golf and become Saskatchewan's best amateur golfer up in Waskesiu, and I don't know how it's going. Haven't heard. I'll check the score. Maybe TSN is up there covering it. See if we can get some results. Half of the double C's are here. Actually, they're both here. Colson running things at Century Studios, and I think Curtis is at Curry Field. As always, for the show, you can be part of it. Prairie Land Rentals text line 306-936-6262. We're on the radio talking sports for the next 3 hours. If you've got us on the CKRM app, we appreciate it. And if you're also streaming on our socials, watching what we're doing, hey, throw a comment into the comments section and we'll get it taken care of on the show, on X at Sportscage and on YouTube at sportscage.com. Give us a like and a subscribe. The show is brought to you by RMP. The RMP summer offer is on now until August 31st. Receive a $25 SOE gift card when you buy a vehicle health check and oil change package. Visit RMP today. Busy show, lots going on. Ryan Pinder from Barn Burner is going to be back. Does the stream every day with Sasky guy Rhett Warner and Dean Boomer Molberg. Not Oiler fans. They are 100% not cheering for the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup final. Pinder's a huge Blue Jay guy, and he just completed the 9-9-9 a few weeks ago. 9 innings of baseball, 9 beer, 9 hot dogs. Got to ask him about that. Brad Johnner is going to join us about 4:30. We had Brad on around Christmas time. They've got this summer schedule. They're playing everywhere, basically. There's a town they're playing in Saskatchewan I've never heard of before, and I'm 51 and a half. I thought I knew my Saskatchewan geography, not like those guys. They're doing shows this summer, and there's going to be free mullet haircuts given away. The number one question we want to ask is, are they demanding that? Or is the guy who's booking the show putting that in? Most famous mullet in Saskatchewan was Brad Johnner in the 90s, right? Nobody better. And guest number 3 on the show today, we can go to him now. Dave Thomas is live at Curry Field for the Regina Red Sox special tribute honoring the 75th anniversary of the Indian Head Rockets. Tonight, the Indian Head Rockets, also known as the Regina Red Sox, will take on the Florida Cubans, also known as the Swift Current 57s. Gents, how... As far as the conditions for baseball today, has the smoke cleared? Is it a little better than it was earlier this morning?
I say yes. Beautiful day here for football and our football. Can you tell where I was before this? Beautiful day for a baseball game. And Rye Pathakos is here. And Rye, the first thing I wanted to say, it's kind of like majestic all of a sudden. You look out and it's quiet. You can see the lined field. The grass is green. The shale has been raked. Like, this must be the best time of day, isn't it, right now?
That's why I show up early and I do my walk. I walk the warning track for about 35, 40 minutes before every game. I enjoy the serene look of the ballpark prior to the action. Looks beautiful.
But you can smell baseball here. And again, I'm not smelling the hot dogs that are on the grill behind us or anything like that. It just feels like baseball. And tonight it really is going to be magical, I would suggest, with the Indian Head Rockets and a couple of special guests that are going to be here at the stadium. Tell me about tonight.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it and honoring this the Indian Head Rockets and these two members that are surviving members of this team in the 50s, traveling all the way from California to be here, and we're looking forward to a big night to honor these gentlemen.
It's interesting because digging into the Indian Head Rockets, I'd never even heard about it until the Regina Red Sox announced this special 75th anniversary tribute that is happening this evening. But you go all the way back to the 50s. A team from Jacksonville, Florida was on the brink of folding because Major League Baseball was starting to allow colored players into the league. And then the players that were displaced had to find somewhere to play. And as you can imagine, the reception wasn't as universal across the United States as one might have thought once the color barrier was broken. So they come to Saskatchewan and played some terrific ball, from what I understand.
Yeah, it was outstanding baseball, and the community of Indian Head welcomed this team. And they barnstormed all across the West. They were in Medicine Hat, also in Saskatoon and Regina at that time. These guys have fond memories of being in the prairies in the 50s and the reception to their team that they were welcomed with open arms.
What does your team take from a night like this when they get a chance to go ahead and rub elbows with a former pitcher and a former second baseman from the 50s that have lived history?
Well, I think they see, the history of baseball in Saskatchewan. A lot of these guys, prior to recruiting them, were kind of unaware of where Saskatchewan was, and now they get a chance to see, the history of the game in our province and out throughout the West, and then get a chance to meet these gentlemen who are a part of history in the big picture of baseball. And we're just caretakers of the game, us guys now, and we're going to hand the torch over to younger people and players along the way as well. So it's nice to have the opportunity to meet Nate and Willie, and I think our guys will really enjoy their presence.
The Indian Head Museum is the place to go to find out more information, Maz. And I was scouring just the history behind this team. It's incredible.
It's an outstanding lineup. Like there's some big league guys there. Pumpsy Green played for them. Yeah. He played in the big leagues. Nate and Willie are great players. Nate was a pitcher. Willie was a second baseman for that team. So I'm interested in meeting him face to face. I've never met them. I did a couple of Zoom calls with them and got to know them a little bit over the internet. But I'm looking forward to shaking their hands.
Hey, right. Although there's a game tonight, and obviously, the wins and losses do matter. What do you want the players to take away from all of this? Because they are part of history, and they're going to all eventually filter back once the season's done to wherever they came from. Is this also part of, this is the growing process. This is part of being, hopefully, for a lot of them, professional ball players, where you're going to have to grow in certain areas, and this would be one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. If they don't end up playing pro ball, I'm sure a number of them will be coaching, and the influence Nat and Willie will have on them with their conversation and just different topics. They'll pick up a lot of neat nuances that that could help them as they go on to their careers after baseball if they don't end up playing pro ball. But just the fact that Nate and Willie and their teammates traveled from all over the U.S. to come to Saskatchewan to play, it just kind of collates what they're doing. They've came from all over to play in Saskatchewan. So it's kind of a neat, to meld that together and just see that the history of baseball in Saskatchewan is great.
The first pitch here at Curry Field is 7 o'clock tonight. Roy Pathakos is joining us here as we count down to that first pitch tonight on what is going to be a special tribute evening to the Indian Head Rockets. Now, you talked about you recruit players. You've recruited players to Saskatchewan for an awful long time. Can you imagine what was being said to these gentlemen back in the 50s? Hey, come to Saskatchewan. Because what do you say to a player that says Saskatchewan?
Yeah, well, our league has done a great job, throughout all the franchises of recruiting. But we have something here, an entity that you can recruit to. At that time, I don't know how and what they were
Yeah.
telling, because they were a barnstorming team that basically played tournaments throughout the provinces here into Alberta and Saskatchewan. So it was not really basically a league,
Yeah.
but they barnstormed to all these different communities. So the gentlemen that were recruiting the guys at that time and putting it together did an outstanding job, because recruiting is an art of its own.
Fast forward to 2025. What do you say about Saskatchewan when you talk to a potential player?
Well, I tell them there's not, between the U.S. and Canada, there's not many differences, but there are nuances of Saskatchewan. Just the language, a few phrases we use, our money, all these different things that the guys end up really enjoying. And, as it shows this year, we have 15 returners. They really enjoyed Saskatchewan. So that was easy to get those guys back. They love to be together, and they love what they saw here in Saskatchewan. So that was, easy. But the new guys, they're falling into place there. They love it here already. So we're excited at the club we put together.
Right, we're about 10 games into the season. Everyone's kind of feeling everybody out. I checked those power rankings, and Medicine Hat, the Mavericks, number one. Sizing up your team, are you where you want to be after 10, 11 games, or what's the message? What are the key points we're working on every day?
Yeah, I'm happy where we are. We're still waiting on a few guys, but what we're doing here in the last 10 games is outstanding. We played Medicine Hat, we played Saskatoon. We feel we match up great. The 2 games here in Medicine Hat, I think we let one get away on us. We could have took both those games. So, I'm very proud of what we put together here. We have a great squad, and we're just getting started.
It's I'm trying to find the right word. Emotional was probably the word last week when we learned about young Jesse Lubinecki, and I know that your team, they come together like their family. How difficult has this time been? I know there's a memorial service that is planned for him tomorrow, and a GoFundMe page because his family feels strongly in leaving a legacy to other athletes that want to follow in his footpath. What has this been like?
Obviously it's a shocking, so especially to our returners, the 15 guys that played with him last year. Something like this is never easy to take, no matter what. And, Jesse was a great kid. I known him for a year and a half. Always had a smile on his face. Outstanding individual. He will be missed. And the new guys that are melding in with the 15 returners really were sympathetic and felt it as well. You can just see it, and it was pretty quiet for a very good day and a half.
Absolutely.
It was very, very quiet. So, we look forward to honoring Jesse's life tomorrow.
One of the things that I'm always impressed with when it comes to minor league baseball, the season is a lot shorter than a hockey season, a lot shorter than a football season, but to see how fast teams can come together like a family over a short amount of time, is that just part of baseball culture? Like, we know we're not here for a long time. Because the faster that melds, it seems it always translates on the field. Is it credit to the 15 guys returning to welcome the new guys in? Is that just a culture that they're coming from? Like, how does it come together so fast to be a family?
Well, baseball players are unique individuals, as all sports players are. Once you get in the locker room for 24 hours, hey, they're your teammates, and you're all pulling in the same direction. We're all here for the same reason, and we're looking forward to the next 46 games.
Well, you do have a road ahead. The team is starting to come together right now at this point. You talked about there's still some players that are going to be coming. And when you look at your ball team as an overall picture, I know that there was some unfinished business from last year. Has that provided extra motivation and incentive, especially for those returning guys?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, especially the returners. The additions, they feel it as well, just from being in the clubhouse for the last 2 weeks. They feel the need to win here, and we're looking forward to that. The guys are pulling all in the same direction. We're excited about where we're going, and we take it day by day, game by game, and we're building. We're just getting started, like I said.
Rye, I know that things have changed over the years. It's 2025, and I remember playing ball as a kid. When we were in a weather delay, if we were waiting and stuff wasn't canceled, there was sunflower seeds, there was gum, and telling stories on the bench. there's technology, phones, iPads, all that. When you're waiting stuff out, what are the players of today? How do you guys get through in the time when you just got to kill it before you know if you're going to be playing ball? Has that changed at all over the years?
Not really. The phones are pretty much left in the dugout. And, when we're on the field and there's a delay, they're playing some hacky sack, they're playing some, playing catch, warming up. They're also still telling stories in the dugout. It's a great camaraderie. It's a lot of fun.
The question I do have, you've been involved in baseball for a long time, and analytics have come so far. How far have they extended to Western Canadian Baseball League, to what we're seeing on the national team level, which you've been involved with before as well? How far have analytics reached from the major league level?
It's reached somewhat. We look at the stats, and the Western Canadian Baseball League through Point Streak, we have all the 7-day stats, who's hot, who's not. So, going into a series, we look at that, and, we put our lineup together opposed to that. So, and we also look at who's pitching. So on the analytics side, like the spin rates and all these things, and not too much taking, in summer ball, we just look at the hard numbers, who's hot, who's not. And we go from there.
So you've never pulled a hot pitcher in the 6th inning because you think that matchup isn't favorable. That's what you're telling me?
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, we haven't done that. No,
nobody's going to do that.
And with the rules now, if you pull a guy, he has to stay in for three batters. So,
okay.
We have trust in all our guys who put out there, and we figure they can get somebody out.
All right. Tonight, the Regina Red Sox special tribute honoring the 75th anniversary of the Indian Head Rockets. It'll be the Indian Head Rockets, the Regina Red Sox, taking on the Florida Cubans, also known as the Swift Current 57s. First pitch tonight will go at 7 o'clock. All right, time to take our first break here on the show. When we come back, there was Rider practice today. It was indoors again, and it was a little smoky. We'll get the latest on that. And Ryan Pinder from Barn Burner will join us. They follow the Flames. They do a live stream every day. And if you're a non-Edmonton Oiler fan, you might want to stick around for this segment, because that whole show, McDavid and Draisaitl hoisting the cup, doesn't go well. And Pinder just completed the 999 challenge. We'll ask him about that next. This is the Sports Cage on the home of local sports here in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
You need to know what's going on in Regina, so get the scoop with the Regina Today newsletter, your backstage pass to everything happening in the city. It's quick, it's free, it's Regina Unfiltered. Get it straight to your inbox. Find the link to sign up at 620ckrm.com or text news to 306-936-6262 and get the link delivered right to your phone. Regina Today from sastoday.ca. Don't miss out.
Hi there, it's Gloria Evans from 620 CKRM, and I'm inviting you to come down and join me for the McDougall Auctioneers Customer Appreciation Event Thursday, June 19th from 10 till 3 at McDougall Sales Yard in Emerald Park. There'll be a charity barbecue with all proceeds going to the Rider Foundation. Draws for you to enter, including 2 tickets to the June 28th Rider game to be won, and a fun, friendly atmosphere. Come on out and say hi and have some lunch at the McDougall Auctioneers Customer Appreciation Event.
Nelson GM in Assiniboia and Avonlea is proud to salute the agriculture producers. If you're looking for that perfect vehicle to fit your ag lifestyle, check out their new and used lineup at either location. With lots on the lot to choose from, they've got tons of new and used trucks now in stock. And if they don't have it, they'll get it for you. That's small town service with a long-standing reputation of one of the province's premier GM dealers. Proudly serving southern Saskatchewan for 65 years. NelsonGM.com.
So since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
Did you know over 1.3 million homeowners call on Reliance for their water heater needs? With over 140,000 five-star online reviews and over 60 years experience, you could say Reliance Heath are water heater experts. Switch to Reliance Heath today. They'll give you $200 plus standard installation is included. For all your hot water needs, call on Reliance. Visit waterheaterrentals.com for details. Terms and conditions apply.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 5050 is presented by ISC.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
Don't miss Bailey Zimmerman at Country Thunder, Saskatchewan.
You're the last thing that I thought I'd lose.
Single day tickets are available now. Spend July 12th with Bailey Zimmerman, Tyler Hubbard, and James Barker Band. Or make it 4 days and see Def Leppard, Jason Aldean, and so many more. Country Thunder, Saskatchewan. In Craven, July 10th to 13th. Single day and weekend passes are available at countrythunder.com.
It's the Gear Up and Go event at carmatcher.ca.
This summer, it's all open roads and adventure. So make your first stop carmatcher.ca with no payments for 6 months, 0 down, and 0% financing, where each vehicle purchase will earn you an entry to win amazing prizes, such as Yeti coolers, cups, grills, and tents. Plus, on Father's Day weekend, you can enter your name for bonus prizes with every test drive. Your perfect match is waiting at carmatcher.ca in Regina, Saskatoon, and Yorkton.
Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com and our YouTube channel. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
You can grab your tickets for the Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation 50-50. They've got a prize every week, every game. 5050.ca. Calgary Stampede package this week you can win with flights, hotel, tickets to the Stampede, rodeo, chuck wagons, and grandstand show. Or if it doesn't fit your travel plans, you can grab $3,600 cash. Maz here at Century Studios, Dave Thomas at Curry Field. And speaking of Calgary, we bring him in on the Western Pizza guest hotline. We found out on his debut appearance on the show, Ryan Pinder has Saskatchewan roots from Barnburner in Calgary. Oh, yeah. So what was the genealogy again of Sasky? It's the aunts, it's the uncles. How did that all break down?
Well, okay, so my grandfather grew up in Saskatoon. My dad grew up in Saskatoon, one of 4 Pinder boys. Jerry played for the Blades. Herb played for the Blades. My dad, Tom, played for the Blades. And Dick, my other uncle, the other son, ran Pinder's Drugs for a while. And I think at some point, one of them owned the Regina Pats way back when. My grandfather's dad was the mayor of Saskatoon. We got some blood here. Sasky blood.
All right. So Pinder, let's just say Pinder is Saskatchewan connected. Don't make a wrong move. The best part about your show, if you are a non-Edmonton Oiler fan, is you and your co-host Boomer and Sasky legend Weapon Rhett Warner. Is an understatement to say that you're not fans of the Edmonton Oilers and everything that's going on in oil country these days?
You know, it's just sport's amazing because rivalry's great, and it's really the only place in society where we can be totally irrational and hate something, maybe just because of the color or the shape of the logo. And, you know, growing up in Calgary, from my Saskatoon-raised father and Toronto-raised mother, every sporting event you go to, the marquee rivalry was Calgary against some team from Edmonton. And so, you know, you're born into this. And that's a good starting point for a great rivalry for any two franchises. My young years was the peak of the Calgary-Edmonton rivalry of the 80s, where you saw the Oilers or Flames make it to the Stanley Cup final, I believe, for like a decade straight coming out of the Campbell Conference. And those were bloodbaths and wars. And so it's very not hard for any Calgarian to, you know, feel a little ill will towards the Oilers, although that's probably faded over the last 20 years. But this particular Oiler team was built on futility. The owner of said team had the lowest winning percentage of any owner of the Pro 4 sports in North America at the time of winning his 4th draft lottery in 7 years. And they've continued to fumble and bumble and step into bear traps through the 10 years now with Connor McDavid. And they do have a good team. They should have a dynasty. And if this was Bill Zito gifted Draisaitl and McDavid a decade ago, it'd be hard to argue you wouldn't. But when you have to buy out players and you make horrible free agent signings and you trade guys like Jordan Eberle multiple times over until it's a paperclip, it's all you have left, and you don't really have much in your draft track record for success, it's really what you don't want to see in the world. It's people failing into success. And I'll give Ken Holland credit. He turned it around a little bit, but you still gave Darnell Nurse #1 defenseman money when he's clearly a 4-5. You still, gave Jack Campbell $25 million only to bury him in the minors a year later. Like, it's just been frustrating to watch a management team make so many mistakes. Oh, the Red Wine Club, the alumni, these old guys are going to fix it. I mean, over and over. Oh, Wayne Gretzky's brother's a finalist for the GM. It has nothing to do with his last name. Like, all this nonsense we've watched for 15 years. And finally, these 2 superstars who are great might win a cup, but it has almost nothing to do with a long list of good decisions being made. How's that for an argument?
Well, part A, I think that we may have found a trigger. Just throwing that out there.
That's correct. And I do talk to my psychologist about this. Sorry, Dave. Yeah, I didn't mention that.
Part B is that I may be wrong, but have we found Calgary's biggest Matthew Tkachuk fan?
Oh, and Sam Bennett too. And all of a sudden, Brad Marchand is climbing the power rankings out here. Yeah, no, it's ABE, anyone but Edmonton. That's sort of the motto. And look, that fan base deserves it. They've suffered through a lot of really, really bad teams. I'd say a stronger word, but I don't know what the rules are in your station. You've seen our podcast. The fans deserve this. The owner and the management team does not, to be frank.
So the other night, when it ends up 6-1, not what I was expecting after the first couple of games, it seemed like they got a dose of Florida heavy all over the place, and they didn't let up. And I saw people over the past 24 hours, the Oilers, they stuck up for themselves. They were trying to fight their way out of the building. Yeah, well, they had the McDavid and Draisaitl stapled to the bench, but Florida was still playing their guys. Florida's not going to change in game 4, 5, 6, or 7. Can the Oilers stand up to the physical abuse that they've been taking since about, the second period of game 2?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I think the Oilers have been very good at setting the tone physically in all the series they've played until now, and they're probably up against the most physical team in the league, and the hits were very close in game 1. But game 3, they were not good, and Florida was. I don't think that means that, this thing's over, they're in trouble, as much as, some people would like that to be the case. Unprofessional, non-journalists would want that to be the case. No, I think how they react tomorrow night is going to be a huge story. It's a really long series if they win game 4, and maybe they're the favorites all of a sudden. And if Florida wins, it's like, all right, that's a decade where it's a dynasty that's turned into 0 banners. Because I don't think you're going to win 3 in a row against this team. You did last year, but God, that feels like asking for 2 Hail Marys in a row. And you didn't win the series last year. As for the silly stuff, like, the game's over at 4-1. So why not send messages? I think Florida would be doing it. And if they didn't up the ante physically, you'd say, like, do these guys not care? Like, go out in there and hurt someone. So I don't know. They kind of can't win there, but no one got suspended. Florida won't want to be down in a game, but if they are, I think they know what they'll be doing.
I'd answer this question myself, but thankfully I was sitting on a couch earlier today, and I don't want to go down that road again, but I'll throw it to you.
Yeah.
If you had your way looking at this Oiler roster, let's say we transplant everybody to the Calgary Flames, one across, it's all done. They're now all Calgary Flames. What are you going to do to make this team a Stanley Cup contender? What has to be done?
Well, I mean,
for the Edmonton Oilers,
if you're ranking goaltenders in the league from 1 to 64, theoretically, Stuart Skinner does not belong anywhere near the top 10, and maybe even not the top 20, depending on who you talk to. They have not addressed goaltending for 3 years since they mistakenly addressed it with Jack Campbell, who was not a solution, and many people saw that coming. A guy that would barely been a 1A over the course of a decade in the league. So every year they get to the trade deadline, it's like, you know what we need? Another forward. It's like, well, I don't know that you needed Adam Henrique for a first. He's a nice player. And it's like, well, we don't want Broberg and we don't need Holloway. And it's like, well, if you had Broberg and Holloway, maybe you wouldn't have to spend a first on Jake Wallman. And in this theoretical, fancy land we're making up in our minds where you still have those two players better than the ones you spent on July 1st or watching in the press box right now, you could use that first rounder on a netminder instead. And I think Stuart Skinner can be a very good goalie, but he's incredibly streaky and hot and cold. And Calvin Pickard's a guy that clears waivers in this league pretty regularly. Like, he's had a nice year, but if you're asking one of those guys to be at Sergei Bobrovsky's level, isn't that a little bit of insanity after watching it not work last spring?
Last time we had you on, the Flames were right in that murky middle of either they're going to make the playoffs by a point, they're going to miss it by a point, and they're going to shoot them. They don't have any toes left to shoot off for the past after the tree living era, but it happened again. So I texted you, hey, will you come on and tell us how the Calgary Flames drafting 18th can build a dynasty in YYC? Here you are, another draft pick somewhere. Maybe you're going to get a Wyatt Johnston. I don't know. Pinder, nothing changes, man. It was either blow it up. No, we're not. It's not a rebuild. We're doing a retool and all that. But there they are. Murky middle draft in 16 days in Riot, LA.
Yeah, look, it's a tough place to hit home runs in the draft. You can do it. No one does it with great regularity. Dallas would be the closest. I know Thomas Harley was drafted in that range. You mentioned Wyatt Johnston. There are very good players that get drafted in the teens. There's also guys that never play, and there's guys that are career European, AHL, or even just fourth line guys, and that's fine. I guess if you look at the number of players in the league and the number of draft picks every year, you shouldn't be waiting for the 16th pick to go find a superstar if you know how they're going to turn out. They should all be gone by then. But they also have Florida's first rounder, and I wonder how high they could move up if they package 18 and 31 and or 32, depending on where the Panthers finish. Maybe that gets you up to 10, 11. That certainly increases your odds of hitting. Still isn't a guarantee. But the real big picture truth is that they don't have stars. They have a goaltender who probably can be one, and they've got Zane Parekh coming up on the right side of the blue line who looks like he could be a very, very dynamic offensive player. But your top two centers are going to be 36 and 35 in Michael Backlund and Nazem Kadri. You can't win in this league if you don't have young, dynamic centers or at least stars at center. And those guys are 2-3s on a championship team. Nazem Kadri's not taking Sasha Barkov nor Connor McDavid's job. He's a 2, and they're playing him as a 1. The way you get those players is you draft them very high or something catastrophic happens to someone's career, like Sam Bennett not looking like a good NHLer for 5 years or Jack Eichel needing neck surgery. You don't go get top players and stars in this league and trade. Players are loath to trade them. You can give guys too much money in free agency, but if you actually want to build a team that can win long-term and be a contender sustainably, you need to hit at the top of the draft. Colorado did it with McKinnon and Makar and Rantanen in the top 10. And Landeskog was not a low pick, right? You look at Florida, Sasha Barkov. You got Aaron Ekblad. They've done a really good job of grubbing other teams' high picks. Sam Reinhart out of Buffalo. Obviously, Tkachuk and Bennett out of Calgary. Edmonton is built entirely. This team's not successful if it doesn't have Leon Draisaitl at 3 and Connor McDavid at 1. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins at 1 is a middling piece, but that helps. You have to pick at the top of the draft to win cups, almost without exception. I think about like Vegas, okay, that's not a team that is built on the draft, and St. Louis, an incredible hot goaltending run for the ages, but generally speaking, otherwise, whether it's Kane and Taves in Chicago or Malkin and Letang and Crosby and Fleury in Pittsburgh, all these teams that are sustainable contenders are built on stars at the top of the draft. So the Calgary Flames have to start picking there.
I love it. I love it. And I thought I heard that you said that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins RNH going to be traded straight across for Dan Vladar. Is that what the deal is?
Yeah, no, I don't see. I think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is going to probably be an Oiler for life. Unlike every other Oiler, Dave, he might finish his career in that jersey. I will pose you the challenge. Best one jersey Oiler. You can't name one.
All right. So, Ryan, something you may not know about Dave, he's a passionate Blue Jay fan like you are. We'll get into the Jays in a second. But at the start of the season, the viral sensation of the 999 challenge came up, and we talked about it on the show. And everybody on that day was like, we could never do it. 9 innings of baseball, you eat 9 hot dogs, and you drink 9 beer. And I think I said I could maybe do 4 innings, but then I'm going to be out for about 36 hours. I'm not going to be able to function. That'd be so. But a few weeks ago, you completed the 999 challenge. Tell us this story.
Yeah, so Boomer, our host of the program, alongside Rhett and myself, loves to goad us into doing really dumb that could be stuff if you want. And so he casually brought up the 999 as we'd seen it like making appearances on people's socials. And it's like, oh, would you be into that? You think you could do it? I'm like, I mean, I wouldn't enjoy it, but I bet you, like, you imagine your life's on the line, you can accomplish a lot of things. Yeah, I think I could do that. So we got to find a date for this. It's like, wow, I mean, we're all going to do it, sure. And, we'll invite some pals and we'll attach a charity to it. And sure enough, the other cowards backed off, and it was producer Jack and I that did it amongst about 22 other competitors at Greta here in Calgary a couple of weeks ago. And it was simple. You basically have a dog and a beer in front of you at first pitch. And by the end of the game, you got to be done 9 of each. The beers were not a problem. The hot dogs were a massive issue. Producer Jack tapped up at 5. Former Nevada and Stampeders lineman John Bender got to 7, and he couldn't go. He's got to be close to 350, 6'8". But, I pushed myself to horrible, dark places in my mind to complete it. And with 2 outs in the middle of the 8th inning, we had 9 dogs done and 9 beers in before the 9 innings. It was a 10-9-9, Dave. I did get an extra beer in.
I'm giving you a mighty applause because I'll tell you, on the best of nights, the Toronto Blue Jays sometimes can just make you want to drink more than 9. I don't know how they're doing it. I've tried to find answers. Somehow, Alejandro Kirk is a superhero all of a sudden. Who cares if you only have a 3-man starting rotation? Like, how is this happening right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, look, I think a lot of things, anything that could go wrong has for this group. And, for some reason, people just hate hearing that they're finishing second for Ohtani and Soto. And you're like, teams should be excited that their ownership is trying to get stars. And yet here, everyone just has it out for this management group so much that they're like, these losers, lock up Vladdy before you do this. And like, I understand the sentiment, but they got Vladdy done. Even after his self-imposed deadline, they got it done. You're like, okay, well, that's good. And you start to look at some of their sales they made at the deadline last year when they weren't a team in the playoffs. Like, geez, there's some decent players they got back here. And you look at Ernie Clement, there's a nice reclamation project. And you look at some of the kids they've drafted that are coming up, and you're like, all right. Like Trey Savage is having a monster year coming up. You look at Arjun Nimmo, he's having a monster year down at Vancouver Single A. The real letdown this management team's had over the last decade is they haven't drafted well. And so if they could correct that, they've been able to get guys in free agency. Like Kevin Gausman, Chris Bassett, these are really good signings. Have they made mistakes? Yeah, of course. But I think people hate the press conferences and the language and the tone and tenor more than the actual, if you break down what they gave away and what they got back, they've done pretty well. Like, adding a starter like Jose Barrios, like that was a great move. That's great. You lock him up as you start? No. Is he starting pitcher every 5 days? You're damn right he is. He's going to make 30 starts and he's a 2-3 everywhere. That's great. But really, it's been these role players coming up that have been great. Addison Barger's just ripping the ball, and he can play at a lot of places on the diamond. Clement's been good. Kirk's offense is back. He's already one of the better defensive catchers around with pitch framing and such. It's a lot of things that are coming together. And if you look back, they've had a lot of things that have gone the opposite way the last 2 years. Like Bo Bichette was a shadow of himself last year. He looks like Bo Bichette this year. That's great. Yeah. Vladdy 2 years ago was tough. Last year, he was great. Like, they're finally getting some things to come together. And to Dave's point, you can now say, okay, if they do get a healthy Max Scherzer and they can either figure out Bowden Francis or have an Alek Manoah at the end of the summer or address it at the trade deadline, like the bullpen's been tidy. The lineup's been better than you thought. They're very positionally and handedly flexible. I've been impressed, but yeah, it's been a surprise for sure.
I would love to know, Pinder, if the Jays were to get to the World Series, Forget the hot dogs. How many beer could you drink in a game? Let's say it's a deciding game. You're sitting there. Someone else is buying.
No.
Like, what are we talking? What are we talking?
You want to remember those games, though. That's the thing. Like, you could do something stupid, but you want to enjoy the game, but you want to remember. Like, I remember exactly what pub I was at when the bat got flipped, and 45 minutes before that when they were arguing about Russell Martin throwing it back to the mound to hit a bat, and then fans are throwing trash in the field. I remember what bar I was at there, but it was only a 2-bar night, and I do remember that night. That's what you need to be. You don't need to be obliterated. You need to be in the pocket of being able to enjoy it, but keep the memory as well, right?
You know, a guy that I remember is Alec. Are you ever going to see him again, do you think? I know he's coming off Tommy John. Do you think can he do anything for us?
So did you say Manoah? You just cut out for a split second.
Manoah?
Yeah. Manoah.
He's throwing. He'll have, I think he's doing a live BP, and then it's probably rehab starts, and the results will tell you. I think he's way too young to quit on. Like, it's an interesting surgery choice. They didn't go with the full Tommy. They went with some sort of brace, but they know more than we do on the sports science stuff. And frankly, as a rookie, he was, unbelievable. Like, he was phenomenal. If you're asking a guy to be a 5 starter, I don't feel like that's a high ceiling. I don't think it's crazy that he could help you out, but you're going to need to see at the lower levels first. But he's young. He looks like the body's in a lot better shape than it was a couple of years ago. And you always loved that bulldog mentality he had. So you hope he can be healthy and be a contributing part. I don't think it's outlandish.
Ryan Pinder joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. So the live stream happens every day on YouTube, correct? Around 10-ish in the morning. Is that sort of the time?
We aim for 10, and given that we're all unorganized, bumbling fools, it's usually a 10:10 start Mountain Time on YouTube. We are on the Flames Nation Network, and the show typically runs for a couple hours until around noonish. Wednesday, Jamie McLennan, Rhett's old former teammate, Noodles, who does great work for TSN and does the Senators color broadcast, joins us Wednesday for half an hour. Darren Dreger every Friday for half an hour. And then it's the usual blend of tomfoolery with, food, how to make gravy, jabs at Oilers fans, and, just the nonsense you've come to expect if you know anything about our brand. Is we've worked together for about 12 years now, including 10 years on an unnamed sports radio station here in Calgary.
Okay. If you're going to go back and go down a rabbit hole, there's an episode last week. Just zip in and go to the segment where you guys talk about being asked, well, are you going to cheer for the Oilers because they're Canadian? There's some great responses, not fit for public radio, only on the internet, but that will be part of Barn Burner. Pinder, as
check
always.
Out our social streams. The Flames Nation streams on Twitter, X, same thing, I guess, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. A lot of stuff. The show is very digestible in 30 to 60-second sound bites to get a vibe for what it's all about. Thanks, guys.
Ryan Pinder joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Passionate non-Oiler fan, Dave, and passionate Blue Jay fan. It's funny. When we met, you started talking Jays. I'm like, there's no way I can talk baseball with Dave. Because Dave is 10 layers deep on the Toronto Blue Jays. I am not even on a bus to the stadium to even line up to buy a ticket to talk about the Toronto Blue Jays when we can talk about who the day 4 starter is on that, three-person rotation. Holy smokes. It's great. Love him. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, when we come back, you want to talk a little Rider football? Practice was indoors, and I know there's some questions. There's one name that showed up on the injury list today that it had me. I have access to you, and it had me going, hey, what's going to happen in Hamilton with blank? We'll explain next. This is the Sports Cage on the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM.
Hit the water in style this summer with Moros Marine and more. Casting a line or cruising the lake, Moros Marine has you covered. Moros Marine has Canadian-made Princecraft boats and pontoons with payments as low as $125 bi-weekly. So not only can you ride in style, but you can do it affordably. Plus, no need to stress about pickup. They could deliver your new Princecraft boat or pontoon right to your front door. Call or text 306-731-EASY and get on the water today. Moros Marine and more. Your adventure starts here. morosmarine.com.
If you love cars and you're on the prowl, or even if you're not, Don't miss the 6th amazing Coast to Coast Collector Car Auctions live event June 28th in Regina. Des here with Coast to Coast Collector Car Auction, and we're going to be down at the Cali Club where we'll have local bidders and real-time online bidding from across Canada, the U.S., and Europe. We'll have antiques, muscle cars, hot rods, and more. The Coast to Coast Collector Car Auction returns June 28th. Details at coasttocoastauctionssk.ca.
Farm Boy Realty has 5 quarters of land in a block for sale east of Tyvant. 3 quarters are listed on the Morski farmland tender until June 17th. 2 quarters are available on MLS listing. All quarters are in hay and have been seeded in the last 5 years. This is your chance to buy a 5-quarter block of land for hay or grain production. Call Guy at Farm Boy Realty, 434-8857. That's 434-8857. FarmBoyRealty.com.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 5050 is presented by ISC.
Burning the candle at both ends? What a weird saying. What if there's no wick at the bottom end? So many questions. But what I don't question is where I get my tires. When your vehicle needs the right tires, see your local Cooper tire dealer. Your local Cooper tire dealer carries Cooper Discover Road and Trail AT tires. They have a durable tread that helps resist cutting, cranking, and tearing that occurs on rough trails. Ask your local Cooper tire dealer about Cooper Discoverer Road and Trail AT tires today.
If your garage door is running a little rough, you don't need to be talked into something that you don't need.
Sir, what you need is the new gigantic-esque, voluminous, astronomical, ginormous, gargantuan, exquisite air garage.
Just call Busy Bee Doors, the local experts who have been in business for many, many doors. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Wait. With me, you get a little garage door keychain, please.
Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
Don't wait any longer to purchase your weekend passes for the 60th anniversary of Canada's National Ukrainian Festival near Dauphin, Manitoba, August 1st to 3rd. If you wait, you'll pay way more at the gate. Get 3 fully loaded days featuring the best dance groups, live music, fantastic food, and non-stop entertainment on 4 feature stages. All this for only $165. Don't wait and pay at the gate. Order your day, weekend, and camping passes online right now at cnuf.ca.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. Powered by Prairie Land Rentals. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that spring or summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner. 600 Albert Street. It's time for the Sports Ticker. Brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. For all your hot water needs, call on Reliance Heath today.
The Toronto Blue Jays won again. They beat St. Louis this afternoon 5-2. Tonight, the Regina Red Sox. It's the special tribute honoring the 75th anniversary of the Indian Head Rockets. Tonight, the Rockets, a.k.a. the Red Sox, will take on the Florida Cubans, a.k.a. the Swift Current 57s. First pitch at Curry Field goes at 7 o'clock. And the NBA Finals will continue tonight. The OKC Thunder, Indiana Pacers, Indianapolis. The series there is tied at 1. That is your sports ticker for Alliance Heath Water Rentals. It's Maz in for Barney today, along with Dave Thomas, who is live at Curry Field as we get ready for game action tonight. Dave, Ryder practice was indoors earlier today, and then I saw the injury report come out, and one name on there had me going, oh no. He just had his breakout game last week. Thomas Bertrand Houdon, the DNP, the did not practice, and groin. What's the situation, and does this affect his availability for Saturday in Hamilton?
Well, the story is late in practice yesterday, he felt something. You could see visibly during one of the drills that he was running that he pulled up, and I don't want to say you could tell immediately it was a strain or whatever else the case might be, but there was discomfort. He was looked at, and today I think for their better judgment, they held him out, right? See how that muscle reacts to some treatment and see where he ends up on the weekend. I know the follow-up question is, well, does that mean Kadeem Carey gets into the lineup? head coach Corey Mace emphatically said, no, that was not the plan. Although Carey did get more carries of the football in practice today, I don't think he's even a consideration for Hamilton. However, I did say that late last season, a game in Calgary when Raquel Armstead was signed on a Monday and played on the Friday.
I remember me, you, and Luke standing in the press box, just like looking around at each other going, and then he goes off for 200 yards. It's like, oh, okay. Now, let's say Bertrand Hudon doesn't go. Mario Anderson has been around all through training camp and is on the practice roster. Do you think he would elevate just because of time spent in the system?
Potential for that. Potential that you would see Morgan Runge take on a little bit more of an impactful role. Again, it's going to be an interesting question. Keep in mind, Thomas Bertrand Hudon does play some special teams or can play special teams. Mm-hmm. Additionally, he is a Canadian. So there's the roster and ratio consideration that you have to factor in as well.
Day 2, it was indoors. Just overall, what did they work on? Was it crisp? Were we, did you like what you saw to be like, all right, everybody looks focused? Because there's going to be some roster changes this week. There's going to be guys in different spots and guys that have hit the 6 game that, they're sideline fans like us now.
Definitely. Liked what I saw. It was an intentful practice to be done, and it was taken care of. I didn't think the intensity dropped at all. I think Coach Mace would agree with that, and the fact that it was very businesslike, very professional, and I think the athletes are appreciative of the fact that, number one, the consideration is being given to air quality, but also for their bodies to make sure that they're tuned and ready to go for this weekend in Hamilton. So, again, they're going to be fresh when it comes to the way they physically perform. Don't forget, they also had the 3-day weekend away from the field, and I shouldn't say weekend because that implies that they weren't doing any work. There was a ton of film study ongoing, but I'm just saying that they should be physically okay.
Coming up after 4 o'clock, we're going to hear from Coach Mace. Hey, don't forget, SaskTel pick the score, your first name, your last name, and who you think is going to win on Saturday in Hamilton. Riders or Ticats. If you pick the score you're closest to, you can win tickets to an upcoming Rider game and a $200 SaskTel gift card. You can text your predictions to 306-936-6262. We're going to take a break. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, Saskatchewan music legend Brad Johnner will join us. Dave, you have hair. You could get a mullet. There's this whole mullet thing going on with their summer tour. Want to ask about that and more from Curry Field, where tonight the Regina Red Sox, it's the special tribute honoring the Indian Head Rockets on their 75th anniversary. This is the Sports Cage. We're streaming on X and on our YouTube channel at sportscage.com and on the radio on the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM.
Calling all Rider Nation fans. The Sportscage Riders Coaches Show on 620 CKRM is your weekly insider access to the Saskatchewan Roughriders coaching staff. Tune in every Monday during the Sportscage for direct updates, strategies, and insights straight from the team's leadership. Elevate your game day knowledge. Catch the Riders Coaches Show on 620 CKRM.
You've got that sweet ride just sitting there, so why not park her in the ring at the 6th Amazing Coast to Coast Collector Car Auctions live event, June 28th in Regina, and get top dollar for it. Des here from Coast to Coast Collector Car Auction, and we're going to be down at the Cali Club where we'll have local bidders and real-time online bidding from across Canada, the U.S., and Europe. Get in on the action. The Coast to Coast Collectors Car Auction returns June 28th. Details at coasttocoastauctionssk.ca.
You see Johnson got a new truck?
Yeah.
Not too shabby, eh?
Nope.
What else is there to talk about? Palliser Direct Online Hail Insurance. It's that easy. Save up to 13% on your crop hail rates this year when you purchase online through Palliser Direct. Insurance has never been easier. Visit palliserinsurance.com anytime, anywhere.
620 CKRM and Tri-Hall Self-Unloading Bale Movers present the CCA Pilot Butte Rodeo, June 13th to 15th. Fridays free, accepting donations for MS. Rodeo slack at 6, then Caitlin Crusaders Bronc Match. Saturday, Heavy Horse Pull at 9:30, Parade at 10. Saturday and Sunday, Chariots at 11, Rodeo at 12:30, then Chuck Wagons. And Saturday, Bud Light Cabaret with Third Degree Burns and from Mexico, the Gecko Band.
This is Victor from the Gecko Band. It's party time, guys.
Tickets at the Tab, Cross Country Foods in Belgoni, Pilot Butte Domo, and Ice House Liquor Store in White Market City.
Back in 1985, the Breakfast Club all sat on the floor.
Don't you ever talk about my floors. You don't know any of my floors. You don't look at any of my floors. Just bury your head in the floor and wait for your prom.
I hate this floor.
Yeah? Good.
Luckily, today, Flooring Superstore has everything you want. Their stock is immediately available with professional installation for residential or commercial spaces. Flooring Superstore. Quality floor covering at the best price. Flooring Superstore Regina.ca.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 5050 is presented by ISC.
620 CKRM and Harvard Media are proud to be from Saskatchewan. Our thoughts are with those devastated by the wildfires across our communities. The Red Cross is urging people to follow directions from their local authorities and to take the necessary steps to stay safe. We encourage anyone who can to donate at redcross.ca, where your donation will be matched by the federal or provincial government to help provide relief for those impacted. For quick access to the Red Cross donation link, text the word RELIEF to 306-936-6262.
It's finally returned. 0% financing is back at Capital Ford. That's right, interest rates are low and inventory is high, just like the good old days. Check out the 2025 Escape, Bronco Sport, or the best-selling F-150 and get 0% financing over 72 months, OAC. Plus, Cash for Clunkers is back. That means a guaranteed $2,500 trade when you buy with us. So what are you waiting for? Get into your brand new truck or SUV at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
We are 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station. Streaming online at 620CKRM.com.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news. Premier Scott Moe says the province will provide $500 for families that have been forced out of their homes by wildfires. Evacuees and the provincial ombudsman have criticized Moe's government for not providing timely aid. Moe says officials have worked hard to address concerns.
Where we have realized that there are bottlenecks in the systems that we have to support those families and to support Saskatchewan evacuees, we've pushed ourselves and pushed the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency and pushed the government of Saskatchewan and proper to address those concerns in as timely a manner and often hours, not days.
Moe says the dollars will be given to evacuees by local leaders, including mayors, reeves, and First Nations chiefs. 3 people faced charges after a robbery on June 3rd in Regina. At around 7:30 a.m., police were called to Fifth Avenue, where a person in a vehicle was assaulted by 3 suspects who stole personal items. Officers arrested a man and a woman on June 9th and a third man the next day. Charges include robbery, weapons offenses, and breaching court orders. All 3 appeared in court this week to face the charges. Now that United Express has returned to Regina with daily flights to Denver, the Regina Airport Authority is focusing on attracting Porter Airlines. Porter already runs daily flights from Saskatoon to Toronto, and Regina wants to join that list. CEO James Bogus says Porter is the one missing link and hopes it will consider a direct Ottawa route. He says Regina is cheaper for airlines to operate and has strong marketing support. The airport continues promoting other flights too, like WestJet's Minneapolis route and the new United Express service to Denver. The Regina Police Service is planning a training drill at the Cornwall Centre tonight. Their SWAT team and downtown safety team will join mall security for the exercise. Police will be on site from 5 p.m. with training starting at 6. People nearby may notice more vehicles. Police say the practice helps all partners be ready if a real emergency happens. Canada's summer jobs market is off to a rough start for young workers. Statistics Canada says the unemployment rate for students aged 15 to 24 was over 20% in May, a 16-year high outside of the pandemic. But Brendan Bernard, an economist with the job search site Indeed, says the tough market for youth reflects weakness elsewhere in the workforce.
Like what's happening in the summer job market is kind of a symptom of sort of like a broader shift in the labor market as employer hiring appetite has cooled.
The federal government last week announced it would add 6,000 new positions to the Canada Summer Jobs Program for youth, up from the 70,000 positions already funded. And a bummer of a way to kick off summer, Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys has died at age 82. One of the world's most beloved and influential musicians, his family posted news of his death to his website today. The Beach Boys' many hits include Good Vibrations, California Girls, and Surfin' USA. The eldest and last surviving of the three musical brothers, he and his fellow Beach Boys rose from local California act to national hitmakers to international ambassadors of the American dream. Wilson himself was celebrated for his beautiful music and agonizing perfectionism, and pitied for the demons that plagued him. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Saskatchewan isn't just where we live and work. It's at the heart of who we are. At Nutrien, we're feeding the future by supporting farmers here at home and around the world. From the potash we produce to the farmers we serve, we are growing careers and building a future we're proud of. Join a team that's shaping the future of agriculture. Grow your career. Grow Saskatchewan. Apply today. Nutrien. From mine to farm to you. Nutrien.com/future.
Act early for spring and save big. Right now, you can score aggressive rebates up to $12,000 on the legendary Degelman Pro Till series of high-speed, high-performance tillage. There's never been a better time to upgrade your equipment for the season ahead. Get the job done faster and more efficiently with the power and precision only Degelman high-performance equipment can deliver. Contact your local Degelman dealer today for pricing and availability. Act early, save big. Degelman, engineered tough.
620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast is brought to you by Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street. An air quality warning is in effect because of the wildfire smoke from BC and Alberta. It's causing poor air quality conditions. Tonight it'll be partly cloudy with a low of 8. Tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud and a high of 25. For Friday, sunny and 24. Saturday, sunny and a high of 27. And for Sunday, partly cloudy, chance of afternoon showers, and a high of 25. Right now, smoky and 22 degrees in downtown Regina.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Farm Boy Realty has 5 quarters of land in a block for sale east of Tyvent. 3 quarters are listed on the Morrisky farmland tender until June 17th. 2 quarters are available on MLS listing. All quarters are in hay and have been seeded in the last 5 years. This is your chance to buy a 5-quarter block of land for hay or grain production. Call Guy at Farm Boy Realty, 434-8857. That's 434-8857. FarmBoyRealty.com.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Regina Motor Products, proudly serving Saskatchewan for over 70 years. Visit rnpchevrolet.com today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
To be a part of the show, hour number 2 of the Sports Cage on this Wednesday. If you missed hour 1, Ryan Pinder joined us from Barnburner, talking all sorts of things. Stanley Cup Finals, drinking 9 beer and eating 9 hot dogs, watching a Jays game. They went in depth on the Jays. You can always catch the podcast at sportscage.com. Or if you get it on Apple or Spotify, if you subscribe, it'll show up automatically. It's Maz in for Barney today. We will hear from Coach Corey Mace this hour. Rider practice was indoors because of the smoke. Saskatchewan music legend Brad Johnner will join us in about a half hour's time. It's their busy time of year. It's rodeo season, playing a ton of shows. Talk to Brad about that. But it's a special day here on the Sports Cage, and we're incredibly honored that they asked us to be part of it. We're talking about the Regina Red Sox special tribute honoring the 75th anniversary of the Indian Head Rockets. So tonight, the Indian Head Rockets, the Regina Red Sox, will take on the Florida Cubans, a team that they played 75 years ago. Those will be the Swift Current 57s. And we're live at Curry Field this afternoon. Dave Thomas and team president Gary Brotzel joining the show now. Gents, it's a good day for baseball, isn't it? And it's going to be a special night for baseball in Regina and all across the province.
You get to take.
Oh, I got it. You want me to take the lead? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, number one, the weather's fantastic. I don't know where all this smoke is they're talking about. I mean, the sun's shining here at Curry. Maybe it's the biosphere we're in, but beautiful night for ball. And yes, we're honored to partner with the Good Indian Head and the museum there. Robin Jensen's just been fantastic to work with, and is just loaded with knowledge. I've learned more in the last month than I ever knew before about the baseball in the 50s and all the barnstorming and everything that was going on. It's a neat story.
How did this come about? Because you told me kindly enough at the Regina Red Sox dinner this past offseason, you said, you got to watch for this event because it's coming and you're not going to want to miss it. So how did it come to your attention?
Yeah, actually, Robin and the folks at the museum in Indian Head approached us, and as soon as they brought the idea, I said, yeah, we got to do this, because I'm going to say about maybe 10 years ago, I was having a conversation with the late, great Gord Curry, and he was talking about coaching the junior Red Sox, going to Indian Head, playing the Indian Head Rockets, I think it was in that 51, 52 era, playing this great, unbelievable, talented team of black athletes, mostly from the States. And he described in great detail how these Red Sox players, mostly 19, were playing these near semi-pro athletes, and they lost 1-0. He described how they got no hit.
Oh, geez.
But he said they did get a walk and stole second and did get a runner to second. But he said the pitching was fantastic. And he actually even alluded to the fact that somewhere in that era, I don't know if it was an Indian Head or somewhere else, that he was positive they played Satchel Paige or faced them.
Wow.
Like, I haven't been able to verify that, but I'm just taking Gord for his word. Like, it probably wasn't advertised. Maybe a team was just changing uniforms and slipping them in to try to win $1,000 at a sports day. But yeah, I guess the ball was fantastic.
It was funny. I was talking with Rye earlier, and we were talking about, recruiting players to the Regina Red Sox. Go back to 1952, and you're talking to a bunch of guys from California and Florida, and you're saying, come to Indian Head, Saskatchewan. We've got something for you. Could you imagine those conversations?
Yeah, I'd be crazy. Like, I know Willie and Nate, I was on a Zoom call with them, and they were actually playing at Cerritos College, which is just north of San Fran. Okay. We've actually had players from that school, California JUCO, and yeah, I think 5 of them came up and played with Medicine Hat in 50, and then were recruited to come over to Indian Head in 51. And I think he said there was 5 of them hopped in a car, came up to Canada, and they were looking for a pathway to the major leagues because they weren't getting the opportunities in the States. So
the Indian Head Museum has done a terrific job of documenting the story of the Indian Head Rockets. And so I was researching, trying to find out more, and as I learned more, it kept piling on, the depth of the story. And I was relaying it to my kids between TikTok videos.
Right.
And they couldn't imagine a time where African Americans would have to come and play in Canada because they couldn't play back at home.
Right.
That was their takeaway. They couldn't believe that something like this had happened such a short time ago.
Right.
What do you take away? What do you hope fans and maybe even the athletes take away from this experience?
Well, I know you're going to have Nate on later, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets very emotional when he gets on here, because when we did our Zoom call, in his own words, he says, I can't believe you guys would want us back after 75 years. He's been back in 2023. Nate was inducted into the Sask Baseball Hall of Fame. Willie has not been back since 51. and they're bringing some family with them. And yeah, it's neat. Just a great story. And yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to Nate Hahn here later, because the hour we had with that Zoom call, I was just like glued to my laptop. Like I was so enthralled and just kind of was hanging on every word. He's such a great, both of them, just great gentlemen, and so appreciative of the fact that they got to come here. And I'm sure I'll talk about it, how he was treated in Indian Head, just like everybody else in town. He could go, believe it or not. I mean, it's hard to imagine, but he could go to the restaurants. He could do this. He could jump on the bus. He could, come to Regina, and everybody treated him very well, he said.
You talked about the history of the Regina Red Sox and how deeply rooted it is in Saskatchewan baseball history. This Indian Head Rockets portion of it is another piece of that history, but doesn't it speak a lot to the quality of baseball that we've had in our backyard for an awful long time?
Very long time, and I don't think, well, certainly the younger people have no idea, but I mean, probably people my age or older would appreciate the fact that, you go to Indian Head or some of these tournaments and there'd be 1,000, 1,200 people there lining the park. And I guess back then there wasn't social media, there wasn't cell phones. I mean, you're looking, there wasn't much to do. So you watch baseball on Saturday, Sunday.
Gary, the Cactus City River Rats, probably the most unique name in the WCBL. Just the quality of the league over these past years, is it as good, or is it the best it's ever been, not only from a league standpoint, but from a talent standpoint as well?
Oh, talent-wise, from 2005 when we started, we were allowed 6 American imports to now. I'd say even 5 years ago, the talent level's through the roof. I mean, I think we have a dozen or 15 Division I players on our roster. This year we have actually 5 coming from LSUS Shreveport Pilots that won the NAI World Series 59-0. So we got 1 here now, 4 on their way, 4 pitchers on their way off that team. Hopefully they'll all be here by the weekend. So, I mean, in years past, we would never have that kind of depth in our pitching staff. And, I mean, defensively, there's just no holes in our lineup. And that goes right across the league. It wasn't long ago our league attendance was, 200, 250 league-wide. I think we're at 475 last year. And if Edmonton can get their new park online, that'll be over 5, and then probably by the end of 2026, full stadium there, we'd be looking at 600,000 plus league-wide. So, probably gone up 300% in just 3 or 4 years.
Now, it's very obvious that I've only been a Reginan for a very short amount of time, but in the year plus that I've been here, you got to take your hat off to this organization. I know you're the president and probably very humble, but the volunteerism. You've had someone cooking in the kitchen since I arrived a couple hours ago, and I don't know what it is, but it smells amazing. The guys that are out on the field and the time that they give back to minor ball in the community. I was walking by the diamonds in our neighborhood, and you see the young kids with the Red Sox shirts or whatever hanging around. Like, this is community. You should take some well-deserved praise for what the entire organization has been able to do.
Well, thank you. A lot of that goes to our head coach. He's very big on, team unity, team spirit, respecting the community. It's been something that's kind of been in our code of conduct for at least 10 years. And, it's something we want. It's actually right in the players' playing contract, spelled right out in what the expectations are when you become a Red Sox, and so far everybody's bought in.
Want to talk about this game tonight? 6-3 on the season, a game and a half out of first place. Medicine Hat, Saskatoon last night up in Saskatoon. We're talking about, the top 2 teams in the East Division are here playing tonight. I'd assume you may have something to say to that.
Well, we haven't played. We're behind everybody a couple games. Our schedule's been a little lax, and then of course, we got smoked out last night. Swift Current didn't play, but our schedule is going to get a lot heavier here. So if we start getting on a bit of a roll, we'll be eating up ground pretty quick in the standings, I suspect.
Maz, you talked about how you played Gary, what did you play? I look out here, and this is my favorite time of a ball game, when they're taking infield, right? I love that little portion right before you get out on the field. I played first base, so quite often I was down the right field line checking out to see if they'd mowed the grass appropriately because I didn't make a play.
Yeah.
Where were you?
Well, believe it or not, I never played an inning of baseball.
No way.
I was a competitive fastball pitcher.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and for Saskatoon fans, I actually played for Saskatoon Roughriders one year at the National Senior A Championship. So, yeah, my roots from QPAR, and we had a fantastic ball teams back then. We went to the Canada Summer Games, represented Saskatchewan, went to Nationals 3 or 4 times, and I threw the ball underhand.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I could never hit that either. My kid did the same thing to me.
Well, that
Gary,
baseball kind of died out for a while. Fastball was huge.
Yeah.
I know for me, I grew up playing fastball, and it's funny. Saskatoon ABC, it was Calgary ABC, Alberta Breaking Clutch, always against the Rempo brothers and Eugene McWillie. But as a kid growing up, and I don't know what it was. I don't know how I ended up on some of these teams because but we could never beat Creighton. Our team inside, I don't know what they were doing in Creighton with the water or the food, but those kids could throw. Even the worst pitcher was better than our best pitcher, and those farm kids, we didn't stand a chance. Saskatoon Holiday Park, we just not good for us. Always good for them.
I played. It was Flin Flon. I was the Geringer brothers.
Oh,
so Kevin Geringer from Humboldt Broncos. They were, him and his brother played, and they actually ended up playing a little bit with Rempel brothers. So that's the exact world I lived in. I remember facing McWillie the first time when I was 19 or 20 at Gordie Howe, and usually he wouldn't let me hit when I was pitching, but I was, and I waved at 3, never came close to any of them, and I was walking away, and the umpire stopped, and he goes, "Rotzel." They turn around, he goes, "What?" So that was the worst at bat I've ever seen, and I really didn't care. I was happy I didn't get plunked, and I was happy just to get back to the dugout and then take the field and pitch, but he made a lot of people look stupid.
I love that. First pitch tonight, of course, is 7:00. Come on out to the ballpark. There's always a ticket. I know that they're going to be going quick tonight, but we got to walk right in.
They see Swift Currents just showing up, and the beer trucks here just pulled up, so there'll be no shortage of beer tonight. It will be cold.
We need to take a break.
Listen, climate change has taken care of the smoke. Gary's brought the beer in. It's all good. It's going to be a beautiful night for baseball. We'll have more from Curry Field as the show goes on. This is the Sports Cage. Stand by. We'll hear from Coach Corey Mace from Saskatchewan Roughrider practice, and Brad Johnner of the Johnner Brothers and the Johnner Brothers Boys Band and all of that coming up in minutes here on the Sports Cage, right here on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
There's a very busy summer coming up at 2sauctioneers.ca in Indian Head. Next week, we got a great one-owner collector sale with knives, toys, other odd and unusual items. Coming up on July the 4th, we got a big sale at Moose Jaw for Glenn and Roger Blager with skid steers, Dodge truck, tractors, and much more items. Our big summer equipment sale happens here on July the 8th. We got a yard full of stuff, and there's still room for a little bit more. Easy to register, easy to bid. Check it out at 2sauctioneers.ca, online auction house in Indian Head.
Ag in Motion is a celebration for Saskatchewan's ag industry. When we get into the field, farmers are invited to get behind the wheel in our Ride and Drive Equipment Demonstrations program for the newest machinery for your farm. Join us near Langham, Saskatchewan, July 15th to 17th. Get your tickets online at aginmotion.ca. Join us near Langham, Saskatchewan, only on Tuesday, July 15th. Get your tickets online at aginmotion.ca.
So since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it. I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
It'll be take me out to the ball game or take me down to the rink before you know it. And Extreme Hockey and Sport will have you ready for everything this season. You'll be all set for the Ball Diamond with team kits, bats, gloves, accessories, and training products in stock. And of course, they've got everything to get you geared up for spring hockey. Whatever your spring sport is, Extreme Hockey has you covered. 1425 McIntyre Street and the Pro Shop, conveniently located at the Cooperator Center.
Proven by countless farmers, 900 Series fence sprayers set the standard for your crops, and it's available at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Featuring 370 horsepower, 132-foot boom, 1,580-gallon tank, smart drive four-wheel steering, and liquid logic recirculating boom, the 900 Series fence sprayers are backed by a 3-year, 2,000-hour Gold Star warranty. Leaders drive Fendt. To learn more about making your crops successful, visit Nick's Service today, nickservice.com.
Your lottery ticket answers the call that dispatches the crew that's airborne within minutes. Your lottery ticket powers the helicopter that's equipped with life-saving technology. Your lottery ticket is someone's lifeline. Stars Lottery. Your ticket fuels our mission to provide critical care anywhere and gives you a chance to win the Porsche Cayenne bonus prize or $100,000. 40 years, one mission. Get your tickets today at starslottery.ca. License LR25008, Saskatchewan only. 18 plus. Please play responsibly.
What the hail just happened? Might be some of the words you say after a hailstorm. But then you breathe and remember, you have Co-op Hail Insurance. They protect your revenue with hail insurance coverage at affordable rates. And no concerns should it come time to pay your claim after that hailstorm. And they pay your adjusted claim quickly. Co-op Hail, a trusted insurance partner providing industry-leading customer service. Contact your local Co-op Hail agent or for convenience and to save even more, use their online buy direct option at coophail.com.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
Ernie Clement had 3 hits for the Toronto Blue Jays, including a home run. Dave's happy. Jays win again, sweeping the St. Louis Cardinals 5-2. They're unstoppable. 37-30, second place in the AL East. Oh, wait, it's June. We don't usually fall off the cliff till about mid-July, right, Dave? Is that it? Early August?
Something like that. And
okay.
Yeah, and actually, you know how I am. I get particular with things, right? So during the month of June, I haven't had a chance to watch a Jays game live. So I've been watching. So I was watching them tape delayed, right, on PVR. So now, even though I've had 4 opportunities to watch them live, I've actually PVR'd it, so I'm behind the game by 10 minutes, and they've won all 4 games. So you know what I'll be doing the rest of the year. Just saying.
Hey, listen, as far as a couple of years ago, I think it was pre-COVID. Anyways, the Riders were on some sort of winning streak, but I had to work late, so I ended up PVRing a lot of the games. And in my crazy Rider superstitiousness, I'm like, I can't watch it live. I have to PVR and watch it later to keep the streak going. And if you're listening and you just heard that, be honest, you've done stupid stuff like that as well. It didn't affect the outcome of the game, but we thought it would. So, but that's the beauty of being a little bit of a delusional sports fan. It's Maz and Dave Thomas in for Barney today. He's off golfing in Waskesiu trying to win the lobstick and bring fame and fortune to his family name. I don't know. But last time, you and I were hosting the show in December, the Johnner brothers were playing a charity event in Regina, and you're like, well, I know Brad. We grew up together. We got him on the show, and we found out that back in the day, 980 CKRM had a talent contest in the late 80s. He ended up winning it, and that's what put him on the path to stardom, and the Johnner brothers, and we know it. So we wanted to get him back because their summer schedule is out, and we have a few questions. So on the Western Pizza guest hotline, making a return appearance to the show, Ladies and gentlemen, Brad Johnner joining the Sports Cage. Brad, how are you?
Second time on the show. I'm excited.
I'm happy you didn't block our number.
Well, no, hold on. It took about a day and a half to get a text back. I know you're a busy guy, but I was like, really? Was it that bad in December that he's not going to text back? But you did, and thank you. We really appreciate it.
Relaxing at the cabin.
Okay. With the Stanley Cup Finals on, let's talk hockey. Let's say if the Saskatchewan Roughrider gear is the most worn sports gear at a Johnner Brothers show, would the number 2 sports gear being worn at a Johnner show, would it be Oilers stuff? Is that what you've seen over the years? Yeah?
It would be this year.
Okay.
Yeah,
like
for
that's
sure.
Saskatchewan formal wear? Like you wear either Riders stuff or Oilers stuff if you're coming to a Johnner show?
Well, yeah, we have to support the Oilers if we don't have a team here. So, yeah, it's good.
All right. So you're obviously you're cheering for Edmonton to win, correct? I would assume, right?
Of course. It's great hockey too.
You know, I'm keeping on the vein of sports for a second. So you, Brad, and your brother Ken, right? You guys did the halftime show at the Grey Cup in Regina, if I'm not mistaken, in 2005. Have you done any other sporting events? Like, would you want to play Stanley Cup or anything like that?
Oh, World Junior Hockey, I did sing for them a few times. Canada Summer Games, performed for them one time. But I don't know if I've ever actually sang, like, maybe O Canada or something at an NHL game. I've sang at lots of ball games, and I've sang at some football games and rodeos and different things like that, but never an NHL game.
Well, Brett Kissel.
So, yeah, if the Oilers called me, I would go over there and sing O Canada for them.
But look at Brett.
I'd sing the U.S. anthem, too. I'd have to learn it, but I'd sing it.
But Brett Kissel sang it a few years ago, and then they lost, and they won't let Brett Kissel back. Like, the fans revolted on social media. So, Brad, as long as they win, it's good.
That's the challenge all the time.
I know. We were looking at some of the summer dates that you guys have planned. And is there a place in Saskatchewan you haven't played?
No.
Because we'll get to that in a sec. So next Friday at the Alex Dillabaugh in Battleford. What's going on there? Is that a rodeo?
It is a fundraiser for the Battleford Humane Society. So they're having a fundraiser and a concert, and we'll be out there. And I'm kind of excited because two of my boys are out on cruises right now. And my son Quinn, who's been gone for the last 10 months, well, he's been gone for 5 years, but he comes home every once in a while. But he's coming home on Sunday, so he'll be at that show. So 3 of my boys will be at that show, plus a young guy, Tyler, who plays drums with us, who's filling in for our other son, Matt, who's on a cruise ship up by Alaska right now. So we'll have 3 of the boys and Ken and I, and we're looking forward to playing some music that we probably haven't played for in a while because Quinn does a lot of music, and my son Luke plays a lot of songs as well. So we'll pull some out of the hat that night. It'll be fun.
All right. Brad Johnner is joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Wednesday, June 25th, you're at the National Simmental Conference in Weyburn. Now, Dave, hear me out on this. It's a tough economy. The price of everything is through the roof. Would Brad Johnner negotiate a cow in exchange for cash payment because of the price of beef these days? Listen, you fill a freezer, that's like a brick of gold these days, when you're playing a bunch of cattle farmers. Well, how's that show going to be?
Oh, it's going to be great. It's the Junior Simmental Association, so it's all the young folks from across Canada that are going to be at this national conference in Weyburn. So, I mean, we haven't been down in Weyburn to play for quite some time, and that's kind of home turf for us as well. So it'll be good to get back there.
I know it's not the Spring Fling Cabaret, having said that, but in all honesty and seriousness, it's remarkable the way that you and Ken and the band and your boys give back to communities to help them. And again, the 3 shows we just talked about, right, are all fundraisers for various community groups. That, you don't get enough props for that. Again, we all get a chance to see you and the work that you do on Telemiracle, but it's kind of a 365-day-a-year thing for you guys, isn't it, giving back?
Oh, well, we never stop. Like, we're playing from New Year's Eve right through until the next New Year's Eve, so it doesn't matter where we go. Like, this year we're playing from, a lot around Saskatchewan, but we're also out in Alberta. We're at the Calgary Stampede. We're out at Flats Fest out in Canal Flats, BC this summer as well. And so we get around, and we don't care where we play. We'll play everywhere and anywhere.
All right.
People
so
are people wherever you go, so it doesn't matter where you go.
Yeah, true.
We're all good.
So Dave, listen to this. Now, Brad, maybe in the younger days when you guys were kids, you can handle this because you talk about playing 3 games in 4 nights. So on the 25th, Weyburn, Saturday the 28th in Torquay at the Centennial Celebration, Sunday the 29th at the Living Skies Festival in Humboldt, then July 1st, Canada Day in the Park in Werman. Wow. Are you like going to have IVs hooked up? Like, how is this situation going to work? That's
hey, come
a lot
on.
of shows
not that old.
in not a lot of days.
I'm not even 60 yet. Come on, man. My brother, that's a different story, but he's got more energy than me. But the boys keep us hopping. So that's I'm glad to be playing with all these young guys because they're full of piss and vinegar, and they want to get out there and play. And I mean, I just love going out with those young guys. They're great players, and we get along really good, and we travel well together. And so 4 shows in a row like that, that's not a problem.
All right, so the show that piqued my curiosity, Tuesday, July the 8th, Ranchman Stampede Tent in Calgary. You're ever going to go to Calgary? Might as well go during Stampede. But on the poster I saw on social media, because I follow you guys, it said free mullets. Now, is the mullet situation, is that a demand of the band, or do they come to you and say, hey, can we do free mullet haircuts while you guys are playing? Like, where does that all come from?
It's funny because my youngest boy plays with a couple of bands out of Calgary, and he plays at the Ranchmans quite often. And we went out there to watch him play one time, and I saw Wendy Daniels. And Wendy's been booking the Ranchmans for 40 years. And I saw her there, so I went and chatted with her, and she said, hey, I heard your new single, Bring Back the Mullet. And she said, that was really good. And she said, we should get you out here sometime. And so I said, sure, whenever. And she said, how about Stampede? And I said, well, sure. And she said, and would you be okay if we offered free mullets to the crowd? And I said, perfect. That'd be awesome. So that's what they're doing. You can get a free mullet if you want one. And I tell you, I was at a hockey game that the Blades were playing last year. And I looked out in the audience, and there was more mullets than I could count. So I thought that was one more reason we should put that song out. And it gets a great response.
Out of all the things you can do in a bar after about 5 or 6 beer, I don't know if haircut was on my bingo card as things that you want to like. Now, are you only allowed to get the free mullet as long as the set is going, as long as the Johners are on stage playing? Like, what if there's a giant lineup? Does that mean you guys have to play deep into the catalog?
They'll be going all night, I imagine. It's a huge tent that they put in the parking lot behind the Ranchmans, so I think there's 1,000 people in there or something. So, yeah, there might be a lineup for mullets. You never know. Girls and boys.
Wow. That's a lot of consideration right there. Wow. The one thing, I know you're extremely proud of your boys because they are so talented, as is your whole family. But can you put me what it's like after a show with the family? Like, so I'm a hockey dad, right? So our hockey game is done, and I'm going and I'm talking to my son about, you should have been a little higher in that face-off, or why didn't you shoot in this instance? When you're leaving a show or something with your boys, are you like, you're a little flat in that second verse? Like, what's that dynamic after a show like?
No, my boys are actually way better than Kenny and I, so they put us to shame, so that's why we hang out with them. They do really well, and we just kind of usually hang out, and if we can find a place to have a cold beer after a show, that's what we do, and we just talk about the show in general and how well it went, and there might be a few things that we want to change next time, or add to it, or maybe something that just came up that one time in the show, and then we said, hey, that worked really well, let's do that again, just stuff like that.
When we started the interview, I had asked, have you played everywhere in Saskatchewan? And the reason why, and Dave, I'm full transparency, I had no idea where Stennin, Saskatchewan was until I Googled it about an hour ago. And I'm from Sask, all right? I just have never happened to been. It's northeast of Regina. You're playing there on Saturday, July 19th at a place called Rawhides. Brad Johnner, do you know that the population of Stennin, Saskatchewan, at last census in 2016, there's only 90 people that live there. So is everybody in town coming to the show? Because that's probably one of the smaller venues you might be playing this summer.
No, it's actually not. This is the third time I've played there. And there's this farmer from around there. He pretty much bought the whole town. And he built the most incredible restaurant bar. It looks like when you go in there, it looks like you got to check it out. Everybody has to go there for supper at least one time in their life. It looks like you're in Texas when you're there. It's these huge oak beams and high ceilings, and it's built in a square. And in the middle of the square is a courtyard, and they put about 400 people in there. And that weekend that we play there is a big car show in town, and people from all over Saskatchewan come there for this car show, and then they come to the show that night, and it is the most fun. It's one of my favorite places to play in Saskatchewan.
Wow, hearing that story.
The place is called Rawhides, Dave.
Yeah, check it out.
Well, hearing that story, I didn't think that you could break the farmer's back. But then again, when it's a small town Saturday night, you just want to go out because there's only 10 more miles till Saturday night with your brother and you.
That's exactly it. The story of my life.
Oh, Dave. Okay, I got nothing to say after that because Dave combined the whole catalog into 15 seconds there of Brad, we always appreciate it. You have our number. We have yours. Anything you guys are doing, summer, need a boost, need set list suggestions, call us, come on the stream. Anything comes up. Hey, when you're doing the free mullet haircut thing at Stampede, please put that up on your social media so us Sasky fans can absorb the vibes that day in the Stampede tent. We don't want the smell. We know what that tent's going to smell like. We just want the vibes of what that tent is going to be like.
Well, I can't wait for you guys to. We have a new single coming out in about a week here. It's called "The Flatlands," and it's about the prairies, and it's a epic cowboy song. So I can't wait for you guys to hear it, and I want to hear your thoughts on it.
All right, it's Brad.
We'll dedicate it to Stennin.
Western Pizza.
Yeah, for sure.
Western Pizza. Brad Johnner in the Western Pizza guest hotline. Thanks as always. This it's called Rawhides in Stennin. Now I'm intrigued to go, like probably a lot of people are. If it is a bit of a destination type restaurant, like I said, if you can fit 400 people in there, it's probably awesome. And if somebody's going to end up tracking us down, because that would be, because I looked on the map, I'm like, where is this? So it's kind of, it's just below the pierogi curtain. Like it's 289K, it says northeast of Regina. So like right in that kind of that under Melford-ish. Ooh.
I know where Stennin is. I know exactly where Stennin is. And I know, you know what? I want to say hi to everyone. I feel bad because I've been to Stennin a number of times. So hi.
How do you not remember?
Again, when you get the opportunity to travel the province, right? Like sometimes you just forget places you've been.
Isn't that a Johnner Brothers song, Places You've Been? Was that another one, or am I just thinking things now? Thinking that you're dropping lyrics in to see if I pick up on what you're putting down.
It's all good.
It's all good. All right, now take a break. When we get back, serious football talk. Coach Mace from practice earlier today, indoors. Thomas Bertrand Houdon did not practice today. We found that out in hour one. What does that mean for this weekend? We'll get back into that. This is the Sportscage on the home of local sports and local music stars, including Brad Johnner, 620 CKRM.
You know them as TM Auctions, but Terry McDougall and Tam Kostanek would like to introduce their new name, McBids. Now known as McBids, they will continue to proudly serve Saskatchewan. With over 50 years combined experience in the auction and appraisal industry, experience, trust, and transparency are words they live by, and they will continue to do so as they invite you to join them as they continue their journey as McBids. Give them a call at 306-262-6327 or visit McBids.ca. McBids, same trusted team, bold new brand.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know. That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
Calling all skilled heavy-duty mechanics. Core Industrial Services has an exciting opportunity for you. They're hiring a full-time heavy-duty mechanic to join them at their 9,000-square-foot shop in Rocanville, Saskatchewan. As a heavy-duty mechanic, you're responsible for performing maintenance and repairs on a wide range of equipment, from heavy machinery to light trucks and more. At Core Industrial Services, they believe in the power of teamwork. Apply today on their website at coreindustrial.ca or call them at 306-745-4844. Core Industrial Services, where expertise meets opportunity. Apply now.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
Rex here. Russ dogs love watching you work, but please remember to make automotive waste really useful. We like to sniff around and take a taste of things in buckets, and that's really dangerous. Do me a favor, recycle used oil and antifreeze materials immediately. It can be turned into useful products. That's good. And if it's not lying around the shop, I won't be tempted to taste it. And that's even better. Better for me, better for the environment. Learn more at usedoilrecyclingsk.com.
Hi, I'm Robin Booker, editor of The Western Producer. Our newspaper has been part of Saskatchewan farm operations for over 100 years, and we want to thank and celebrate farmers in our community. If you're going to be at Ag in Motion, Saskatchewan's outdoor farm show, please visit the Western Producer booth to share your feedback and story ideas from your community. Visit aginmotion.ca to learn more about this year's program, July 15th to 17th.
Crave is your destination for the summer's hottest reality series. Love Island USA is back. And so is host and fan favorite Ariana Maddox.
Safe to say this season's looking pretty good.
Don't miss the cultural phenomenon critics call must-see TV. Love Island USA. New season. Stream now. Subscribe at crave.ca. Crave. Proudly Canadian.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sports. Whatever your sport is, Extreme Hockey has you covered.
Jays won again today, 5-2 over the St. Louis Cardinals. Ernie Clement, 3 hits and a home run. Tonight, there's baseball action at Curry Field. The Regina Red Sox special tribute honoring the 75th anniversary of the Indian Head Rockets happens this evening, where the Indian Head Rockets, the Regina Red Sox, will take on the Florida Cubans, a.k.a. the Swift Current 57s. First pitch at 7. We'll have more from the ballpark here in just a few minutes. And the NBA Finals continue tonight. The Oklahoma City Thunder in Indianapolis to take on the Pacers. That series is tied at 1. It's Maz in for Dave Thomas. We just had Brad Johnner on, and he was talking about playing at Rawhides in Stennin, Saskatchewan, which is north of Yorkton. So we're on the website. Dave, this place, Looks incredible. I can tell already the food is probably outstanding. Like if I'm getting steak or a roast beef or a brisket there, it's going to be outstanding. There's probably no quinoa on the menu. They don't do food allergies. If you can't eat it, don't order it. Like all of that stuff. There's probably not salad. If there is, it's with iceberg lettuce. It's not with radicchio, all right?
Yeah, my phone's been blowing up. Todd pointed out. Yep, it's an amazing place. So there you go. I remember it.
All right, Rider practice earlier today. Because of the smoke, they went indoors. A lot of injuries. We talked about that yesterday. People being added to the 6-game injured list. Thomas Bertrand-Hudon did not practice today. But there's still a chance you're saying, are you telling me there's still a chance that he could play on Saturday in Hamilton?
There's a chance. Well, obviously, we won't get to see practice tomorrow as it is a closed practice the Riders are holding. But again, I'm hoping it's more precautionary than anything else. But again, there was a muscle tweak, and you don't mess around with it in week 2 of the season, right? You go ahead and you make sure it's taken care of, because a small problem when you're talking muscles can, of course, become a big problem very quickly. So we'll have to wait and see for Thomas Bertrand-Hudon. He was there. He didn't participate in any drills. He was there, though, taking mental reps. You could see how engaged he was. So, again, never say never, but we really won't know until Friday when the depth chart.
Yeah, because a lot of us, the minute I saw the injury report, my brain just went to Kadeem Carey. All right, you had a chance to catch up with Coach Mace after practice today?
Yeah, and so the one thing that I wondered, so now this is the second consecutive day that air quality has forced the Riders inside, and I asked him, does that mean that any of the intensity that you would have expected it has been lost being inside?
No, you hope not. It's just I think when you change the environment a little bit, usually, specifically with me, if we're going indoors, it's because we physically can't go outdoors. So usually those, might turn into a walkthrough, but this is a little bit different. So the mindset still has to be, we got to get better. And I think that we have over these last couple of days. But we want to keep that intensity, fairly.
And so does this mean that this is a negative with them being inside?
No. I mean, if we're able to get the reps, we're good. I mean, certainly being out in our own field with, proper markings and all that other stuff would certainly help. But, it's an adapt and conquer kind of deal, and just a little adversity, man. It's good practice.
And adversity is kind of what the Roughriders are anticipating, Maz, when they get into Hamilton. It is a hard place to play. It is the crowd's emotional. They're vocal. They're loud. I remember growing up listening to the radio and hearing all about the humidity. And until I was there last year to experience it firsthand, the humidity is a factor. They play right off the lake at the stadium formerly known as Tim Hortons Field. So it's going to be interesting. And, of course, they're coming up against a team that likes to throw the ball. The Riders themselves gave up 400 yards passing last week. So Bo Levi Mitchell, as you heard on the Sportscage and, of course, the coaches show on Monday, the first ever touchdown pass he threw was to head coach Corey Mace. So now Corey Mace is once again preparing to come up against Bo Levi Mitchell, which, again, he knows is going to provide a big challenge.
I can't speak highly enough of the guy. He's a walking Hall of Famer. Not a lot of stuff that, he hasn't seen, kind of deal similar to Trevor. You got to be on it, not only as a play caller, but the players defensively. You got to be on it, or he's going to expose you. I've seen it with my own too, on the good side and on the bad side. So, everybody's got to be on. Everybody's got to be on their P's and Q's.
So, head coach Corey Mace, again, it's going to be a battle and a test this week in Hamilton.
Tomorrow on the show, around 3:20-ish, Rick Zamperin, who is the new play-by-play guy for the Hamilton Ticats, will join us. A lot of us watched that game in Calgary, and Hamilton looked good in spurts. Bo Levi Mitchell looked good in spurts. But we've all seen Bo, when he plays against Saskatchewan, look good all games, and not necessarily in spurts. So it'll be interesting to get Rick's take on what happened last week in Calgary and what we may see as far as some of the changes or tweaks they're going to make for Saturday in Hamilton. I expect that they will play better because they will be at home using all of those advantages. And Dave, you've been covering Rider football a long time. No matter who he's played for, Bo Levi Mitchell has always played well against the Riders, no matter who the coaches were on the other side, who the quarterback was, Bo has kind of had the Riders' number.
You're right. And the one thing I do want to go back to with week one is, how often do you hear the cliche, there's a handful of plays that dictated the outcome of the game? And I truly believe that to be the case for both the Rough Riders and the Tiger Cats. If you look at the Rough Riders, right, there were 3 times that I counted in that football game where they had the football in hand defensively and could have made a turnover, right? So those are 3 plays that didn't go the Riders' way. There's also another 2 plays where uncharacteristic fumbles occurred, right? So they gave the ball away 2 more times. So that, I really feel, impacted the outcome of the. If you go ahead and take away or give away, if you will, you look at those numbers, and it could have been a very different game. And I feel the same way in Hamilton as well. Their game in Calgary, they misjudged a kickoff to start the second half where they should have had the ball in the wind. Instead, Calgary gets it deep in their end, and they score into the wind. And then they just couldn't stop Calgary in the third quarter when they were going into when Calgary was going into the wind and Hamilton had it at their back. So there's a couple of instances there. A goal line stand where Hamilton fails to punch it in. There's number 3. So the team is close. They are a younger group, I think, on the back end, and it's going to be interesting to watch and see how they perform defensively. And I'm really curious. I know that Bo Levi Mitchell wants to find Kenny Lawler. It's very apparent that, why wouldn't you, right? When you sign the guy as a free agent, you want to go ahead and bring him on. But I thought it was to the detriment of Shamar Bridges. And Shamir, he was sensational last year, right? Before he got hurt at the end of the year. And I would very much like to know what his season could have been like if he wasn't shaken up. And so I'm curious to see whether or not they can work him in to the receiving core and the offensive game plan a little bit more, as opposed to looking for Lawler. Not suggesting you shouldn't, just suggesting that maybe there's going to be more opportunities for him now that the team might focus on Kenny Lawler.
We know CJ Avery is out. We still don't know, because he's been practicing. Roland Milligan, whether he'll be in or out, and that may change the whole game plan for Milanovic and for Bo Levi Mitchell. All right, time to take a break. We've got news coming up, and then when we come back, we'll have more from the Regina Red Sox special tribute night honoring the 75th anniversary of the Indian Head Rockets tonight at Curry Field. The Indian Head Rockets, if we were to go back to 1950, they're going to take on the Florida Cubans, and we'll do that next. This is the Sportscage. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching. It's our stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Stay in the know about what's happening in Regina. Get the latest news and events delivered right to your inbox with the Regina Today newsletter. Whether you're looking for local happenings, must-visit spots, or the latest in local news, we've got you covered. Sign up today and get Regina's best stories all in one place. Text news to 306-936-6262, and we'll send the link right to your phone. It's free, it's easy, and it's all about Regina. Sign up for the Regina Today newsletter from sasktoday.ca.
Donate to Jim Pattison Children's Hospital Foundation Day of Sunshine and support young lives in Saskatchewan. Sign up for monthly donations on or before June 11th, and your gift is matched every month for a year up to $100,000.
Monthly gifts of $25 or more are a convenient way to make a big impact in the lives of Saskatchewan families and kids like me who are cared for at Jim Pattison's Children's Hospital.
Call 1-888-808-KIDS or visit pattisonchildrens.ca.
Employee pricing has arrived at Crestview Chrysler with the 100 Years in Canada event. That means $99 per week on a new 2025 Jeep Compass. Financing as low as 0% for 72 months on select Ram 1500s. Save up to $26,000 on the new Dodge Durango Hellcat. Or get into a new 2024 Dodge Hornet for as low as $38,995. Take your pick, boss. It's employee pricing. Only for a limited time at Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Farmers, grain, poultry, cattle, barn, house, and more. A generator is a necessity. Whether you need to keep operating during an outage, keep water bowls from freezing, grain drying during winter, or need power at a remote location, you need a generator from Shorty Generators. Now is the season to buy or service your generator on the farm to be sure you always have power when and where you need it. And Shorty services all makes and models, including PTO generators. Shorty Generators. Power where you need it. ShortyGenerators.ca.
The deck sale is on at Freeze Tallman. Get 15% off composite decking. That's 15% off. Only purchased through Freeze Tallman. If you got a deck project coming up, then you're going to want to head to Freeze Tallman for their deck sale. That's 15% off composite decking, only purchased through Freeze Tallman. Visit freezetallman.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel.
Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
A rolling stone gathers no moss? What a weird saying! Does it gather moss if it's not rolling? So many questions, but what I don't question is where I get my tires. When your vehicle needs the right tires, see your local Cooper tire dealer. Your local Cooper tire dealer carries Cooper Pro Control tires. They're designed to wear evenly for crisp handling and engineered to take on water while maintaining grip. Ask your local Cooper tire dealer about Cooper Pro Control tires today. They'll keep you rolling.
Are you tossing and turning at night, unable to sleep because of mounting debt? Debt can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to face it alone. I'm Jasmine Brown, a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Regina. I'm here to guide you every step of the way so you can find peace of mind and finally rest easy. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book your free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
Get it hot and get it fast, Western Pizza.
Some say the number 13 is bad luck, like walking under a ladder. Well, 13 is a very lucky number when you're talking Western Pizza, like their delicious 13-inch pepperoni from Western Pizza. That makes it, well, the luckiest number of all. Western Pizza, big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or takeout. Order today.
And get it hot and get it fast, Western Pizza.
Don't wait any longer to purchase your weekend passes for the 60th anniversary of Canada's National Ukrainian Festival near Dauphin, Manitoba, August 1st to 3rd. If you wait, you'll pay way more at the gate. Get 3 fully loaded days featuring the best dance groups, live music, fantastic food, and non-stop entertainment on 4 feature stages. All this for only $165. Don't wait and pay at the gate. Order your day, weekend, and camping passes online right now at cnuf.ca.
The 620 CKRM Country Corner is brought to you by Glasses TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer, and Foster's Audio Video in Carlisle. Get the newest cell phone today with an amazing SaskTel rate plan.
620 CKRM and Tri-Hall Self-Unloading Bale Movers present the CCA Pilot Butte Rodeo this weekend, Friday to Sunday. Don't miss Caitlin's Crusaders Bronc Match, Parade, Chariots, Chuck Wagons, the Bud Light Cabaret, and more. Full details and where to get tickets on our events page at 620ckrm.com. Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Regina are bringing back the Mega Bike. Hop aboard the 30-person party bike on June 18th and help raise money to support life-changing mentorship programs for local youth. You can find the registration link at bbbsregina.ca. And get ready to sing and dance at the Big Flat Folk Fest, July 11th and 12th in East End. This year's main stage headliner is Corb Lund. For tickets and more information, visit bigflatfolkfest.ca.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com. We are 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station, broadcasting live from downtown Regina.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media Newsroom with your 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound and for Capel. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. The Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency says progress continues on northern wildfires, with more evacuees returning home and better weather helping crews. So far this year, there have been 259 wildfires, well above the usual 147. About 80% are human-caused and 30 were likely set on purpose. Officials are asking the public to report any suspicious activity. 2 people have already been charged with arson. The province has also changed its fire ban, which now only covers the North Provincial Forest up to the Churchill River. Brian Chartrand is with the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency. He says temperatures are expected to remain favorable for the next few days.
We're not out of the woods yet, but this definitely stops the fires from growing and progressing, giving us time to get our staff and resources on those key locations to stop it from heading towards any community or endangering further infrastructure.
Around 7,000 people in and around La Ronge are expected to start returning home tomorrow.
The Regina Police Service is reminding people to protect their vehicles after getting 41 theft reports in 14 days. In over 80% of the cases, thieves got in because doors were unlocked or windows were down. Police say simple steps help, like locking doors, removing keys, and hiding valuables. Don't leave wallets, garage openers, or spare keys inside. Report suspicious activity to police and call 911 in emergencies. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith says her government is working to entice a private sector player to build a crude pipeline to coastal waters. Trans Mountain, a Crown corporation, currently ships Alberta crude to the BC Lower Mainland, providing the only meaningful overseas outlet for oil sands production. Trans Mountain CEO Mark Mackey says there's no immediate interest in pursuing a brand new pipeline.
She's talked, I'm sure, to every pipeline company, including us. But as far as us, we are very focused on, and I say this whenever I get a chance to talk to anybody, but optimize the existing kit is the first priority for us.
Trans Mountain has the ability to boost its capacity to more than 1 million barrels a day through drag-reducing chemical additives and additional pumping horsepower. 2 people accused of throwing Molotov cocktails at police during the Los Angeles protests over the weekend are facing charges that could bring up to 10 years in prison. Alex Stone reports.
There are 2 suspects who were charged today with possession of a destructive device for when things were going down on Saturday in Paramount, and then one of them was here outside the federal building. They had Molotov cocktails in both of those. One of the suspects is in the country illegally, and they're now facing that federal charge. Just the beginning of charges that are beginning to come down today.
The other suspect is a U.S. citizen. And Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys has died at the age of 82. One of the world's most beloved and influential musicians, his family posted news of his death to his website today. Further details weren't immediately available. The Beach Boys' many hits include Good Vibrations, California Girls, and Surfin' USA. That is your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Way to go, Travis Kelce. I mean, son.
As fun as it is watching your 5-year-old run the wrong way or pick dandelions on the football field, what if I told you you could watch your favorite sports or shows on the go anywhere? Well, you can with MaxStream TV from EchoSound, your SaskTel authorized dealer. Take MaxStream anywhere you go.
Oh, wrong way, buddy.
MaxStream and great internet plans available at EchoSound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel, echosound.ca.
Let's get out on the water. Now is the best time of year to buy a boat or pontoon at Kevin's Marine. Cast a line in a Lund fishing boat. Take the family out on a Four Winds boat. Or head out on a pontoon by Harris or Crest. Powered by Mercury Motors at the lowest prices of the year. There are manufacturer's rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing on a great selection of boats and pontoons. Plus Shoremaster aluminum docks and lifts. Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. Enjoy your summer. Get out on the water. Stop by or shop online at kevinsmarine.com.
Your 620 CKRM weather forecast is brought to you by Line-X Regina, Serious Protection, Killer Looks, 1865 McCarra Street. And Croft Electric, 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all your electrical needs. CroftElectric.com and on all socials. Now, here's your precision weather forecast.
There's still some smoke, though. Smoke and haze is what we're into. Occasionally, some pockets of thicker smoke, but now this rain helping to sort of clear out the lower levels a little bit. So we'll watch for that to be a little bit thinner, more likely just some areas of haze for tonight and tomorrow. Temperature 8 tonight with a mainly clear sky and 20 tomorrow with a mixture of cloud and sunshine. Little extra breeze picking up through the afternoon tomorrow. That's ahead of a weak system flipping in. Little disturbance, which brings a chance for some showers, brings little else. It's a weak upper-level disturbance. Doesn't impact the winds at all, doesn't impact the temperatures at all, but brings the chance for some showers during the overnight hours Thursday night, as much as a whopping 30% chance. Partly sunny on Friday with a high of 21. And into the weekend, we've got some mild conditions. No significant changes, as I mentioned, in the temperatures, so no cool air, and really not much true heat, just a little warmer. Tack on a few degrees into the weekend. A dry day Saturday, 24, but Saturday night and Sunday, both featuring the chance for some scattered showers.
Croft Electric. You've probably heard of us because we've been around for over 27 years. We do commercial and residential work? Yes. We do permanent holiday lighting? Yes. We do cabins? Yes. And farms? Yes and yes. We're an authorized Generac generator dealer. We are a full-service electrical company with the experience and the people to service all of your electrical needs. We are Croft Electric. We will be here when you need us. Do it right, do it once. Follow us on all social and call 306-586-1333 to book.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Regina Motor Products, proudly serving Saskatchewan for over 70 years. Visit rnpchevrolet.com today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Final hour of the show. Thanks for being part of it. If you've missed anything this afternoon, it's been an interesting day so far. We've talked about all sorts of stuff. Places in Saskatchewan, Dave, that you and I I've never been. You forgot that you were there, but many people on the Prairie Land Rentals text line are giving guys, Steenen, not Stenen. Many texts rolling in. We mispronounced, and we're like an hour-ish north of Yorkton. I was checking out the menu. Dave, on a day like today, little summary, they have a June beer bucket special. We shouldn't be giving away free shout-outs because we're in the advertising business. I'm going to say you can get a bucket of beer, 5 bottles for $20. Where are you getting that anymore? Not. Wow. Oh. Dave, listen. Oh, listen. Because that happened on camera, Dave Thomas almost got killed by a bird at Curry Field.
Wow.
If there had to be a WCB claim and you were off work for any amount of time, I will gladly vouch and be your witness. And we have video proof. It's not going to be a he shed, she shed. There's actual proof that you almost got killed by a bird while you're doing your job.
You know what? I love golfing, but that's the extraordinary type of birdie right there. And I guess we're at the ballpark here getting set for the big Indian Head Rockets tribute night tonight. So I guess that was truly a flyout, if you will.
Speaking of golf, U.S. Open starts tomorrow at Oakmont. And I saw a video yesterday. There was like 30 dudes with really expensive lawnmowers. I was very envious. They were cutting the rough, but they weren't cutting it very short. And they're talking about how many players. It was this whole report of how many players, and these are all professional golfers. They had like 45 names on there of guys that were going to struggle, that they weren't going to hit it out of the rough. And when I see situations like that, I always think, what would the common person, the average to bad golfer, do in a situation like that? If a Dustin Johnson can't hit it out of the rough, Dave, what would you and I do if we ended up on a course like that?
Foot wedge.
That's every hole. That's every hole.
Yeah.
And then secondly, someone would be like, don't worry, you're never going to end up at the Oakmont Country Club playing on a course where the U.S. Open is played. It's just not going to happen. If you're betting money you don't have, like many gamblers do, Scotty Scheffler right now is the odds-on favorite to win it all. Rory McIlroy is second, depending on whether or not he's using the illegal driver. But as I read earlier today, much like with the Masters, if you're only going to take a first-round guy to win you cash, Dave, the smart money is going on Justin Rose, who's the Masters leader after day one. Yeah.
All right.
Saskatchewan Roughrider practice was closed again today because of the smoke. They took it indoors. And I liked your question to Mace last hour. It's inside. It's a little different environment. You know, it's one thing when you hear the pads popping outside because it's outside, you're at the stadium, all that's going on. Did you see the intensity there indoors? Because it is a different setting.
Intense. Again, it's a different type of intensity. It isn't a physical battle intensity. It was more of a commitment to doing things right intensity. There was laser focus on the task that was at hand when it came to installing the playbook and being ready for Hamilton. So the intensity was there, was a different type of intensity, but Coach Mace, as he told us last hour, wasn't upset with it at all. He's happy with the way that the team is getting themselves ready for this week's game in Hamilton.
A lot of questions about the roster because we know that CJ Avery is going to be out 6 game. Kian Schaefer-Baker, 6 game. Peyton Collins, 6 game. So there could be changes. But AJ Ouellette and Roland Milligan Jr. were practicing again today, correct?
Yes, they both were. Roland Milligan Jr. was much more engaged than what he was yesterday. Yesterday, he was more limited than a full participant, but today he was much more involved in all of the defensive drills that were taking place on the field. Thomas Bertrand-Houdon was a spectator, as we talked about earlier, so that meant that the brunt of the carries were going to AJ Ouellette, as you would expect. Mario Anderson got a few, but more were going the way of Kadeem Carey with the second-team offense. Coach Mace was real quick to say, whoa, that's not the plan for him getting into this game in Hamilton. Hold your horses.
Coach.
Yeah, hold on.
Coach,
so I know we're all excited.
I know, but Coach, you have Rider Nation in the palm of your hands. Don't shut us down. Let us think open-ended to be like, well, I don't know, man. It's still early. A lot of things could happen.
Well, and the other thing that I think is going to happen is that we're going to see Daniel Johnson, who, of course, was a draft pick last year of the team. He is going to move on to the starting offensive line. So Peyton Collins, who started last week in the place of Jacob Brammer, and you'll recall there was a little bit of a shuffle because Brammer was playing on the guard spot, and then you had Travion Tate playing the tackle on the left side of the offensive line. So they shuffled that around to bring Collins in, but they really liked, I think, what they saw from Tate, and they're excited to see what Daniel Johnson can do at that left tackle position. So the offensive line, as they lined up today, was Johnson, Tate, Furland, so your left tackle, left guard, and center. The right side, the right guard was, once again, Jacob Brammer, and then at right tackle, you've got Jamarcus Hardrick. So it looks like that is going to be very much what the offensive line looks like going into Hamilton. Zach Fry was taking the extra rep along the offensive line, while Morgan Runge was taking some reps as the tight end on the offense, as we saw him do in game number 1. So I think that that's what you're going to look at as we get closer to game time on Saturday for the offensive line.
So last week against Ottawa, that was the first meaningful football Jamarcus Hardrick has played in a long, long time. How do you think he graded out? You try and watch. It's one thing when you're watching on TV because obviously you don't always get to see, but how did you think he played in his first game back in a long time?
I was curious. I was kind of watching because I was curious whether or not he would be tentative, right? When you come back from an injury, sometimes you have to push it as far as you can. And I thought in training camp that he had done a terrific job of doing that, pushing that, stressing himself to make sure that he was where he wanted to be. I was a little surprised he didn't try it out in the preseason, but clearly he didn't need to. I didn't think he was tentative. I thought that he did the things that he was expected to do. And again, Pro Football Focus, they're the ones that go ahead and help award the honorable mentions and the honor roll stuff through the Canadian Football League. And the one award that the Riders did win in week number 1 was their offensive line play. They graded out at the top of the class. And a fun fact, the highest graded offensive lineman for the Saskatchewan Roughrider within the group that was number 1 overall in the CFL was Peyton Collins in his first ever pro football game.
Man, you know, you got to feel like you battle through training camp. We talk about how hard it is to make a team. You come up, it's a training camp. You got 2 to 3 weeks, especially an offensive line. Incredibly tough spot. And then you get your shot because all of these things had to align. And then unfortunately, you get injured and hope, like they talk about adversity. Well, here you go. Here's a whole bunch of adversity in your young career. And if he can bounce back from that, because when he was in, he played well. You didn't see Trevor Harris scrambling for his life because anything that was coming from the left side. That's for sure.
No, absolutely. And the other thing to point out was, the one scramble that I can recall off the top of my head from Trevor Harris was to his side, which means that he was able to take care of that contained man and allow Harris to escape the pocket and get outside there. And the other thing is that, it looked horrific. Again, he waved off the cart. He waved off the training staff, and he walked off the field on his own, and he was back at practice today, albeit with a crutch and a brace. But I think that's a terrific sign, and it's a significant injury that he has suffered, and he is going to have to work a long way to come back. That is very apparent. But much worse, right? So if you look at it on that side, there is a silver lining to the cloud.
We know that CJ Avery is going to be out. What are you thinking potentially for that spot getting filled? Will it go Canadian with AJ Allen? Do they stick American? Is it Antoine Brooks Jr.? The special teams implications that play into this, like there's a lot that goes into that spot.
Absolutely, and I would be surprised if perhaps he didn't. If I would be surprised if it's not AJ Allen that gets the start there. That would be my idea for what the reps looked like today. Now, again, being indoors and not the best vantage point, the defense was predominantly working down at the other end, so I didn't have my pad out and figuring out who was taking what number of reps. But AJ Allen, I would suggest, is probably the guy there. But the other one that we haven't really talked about that's intriguing is the fact that Jorgen Hughes, who played game number 150 back last Thursday, was very, very limited in his work both yesterday and today. So long snapping for the most part was Lake Corte Moore. So again, another dynamic, especially a dynamic that'll have to be contended with or thought about when it comes to what that's going to look like on special teams, right? Joe Couch was the holder last week, and now a different snapper potentially as well, right?
That one last week where I'm sure on film in the beautiful Rider film room looked awful on a 150-inch screen. I know on my screen at home when the hold and how that turned out, not great. They eventually they got it down, but something like that. Your long slapper, it's funny. You don't notice him until you notice that he's not there. So hopefully that rectifies itself. One guy that we know who's probably going to be busy on Saturday in that Rider secondary is going to be Marcus Sales. And you had a chance to chat with him after practice today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the conversation with the secondary and defense has been giving up 400 yards to Drew Brown and the Ottawa Redblacks. Drew Brown, by the way, not going to be playing this week after a hit he took in week one. But back to Marcus Sales. Again, talk to him a little bit about this week's challenge, which is coming up against a player that he knows well from his time in the league, Bo Levi Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think a lot of people know he's the gunslinger. He wants to throw deep balls. He wants to make explosion plays, and if we feel like we stop those, we'll be okay. If we're able to make him inch down the field and make him go through his reads and his progressions, we feel like our D line is so good. We feel like if we give them time to get to him, they'll pretty much get to him pretty fast.
Which is a good thing, right? Yeah, exactly right, and you got to get there. And the Riders were, I think, comfortably happy with the way that they played on that defensive line, right? You got Mike Rose and Micah Johnson on the inside, and then you've got Shane Ray on the two ends, and then you had Haba Baldonado, who came in and played a heck of a ball game in that rotation that they ran up front. So, yeah, it's possible. And you did hear Coach Mace after the game talk a little bit about, how there were some points where maybe he was a little more conservative due to the personnel that they had with, again, missing Roland Milligan Jr., for example, right? So obviously a lot of things to consider.
The one thing we do know between Milanovic and Bo Levi Mitchell, they're not shy. They will always press it. Conservative is not the word to describe either of them, coaching style or playing style. And the one thing that I think we've maybe seen a little bit out of Bo, I think last year after like the benching and coming back in, where there was that willingness to take some of the underneath stuff, the stuff that he would never go to before in his gunslinger days, where he's trying to take some of the stuff that is right there, because if he can live to play another down, he'll take a 2nd and 5 now. He's not just looking for, to get 19 yards on the first down. And that was always my thing. I'm like, wow, a patient Bo Levi Mitchell is almost more dangerous than just the gunslinger, because look, when he was young, he'd bomb it twice, 2 incompletions, and if they got a punt, it was no big deal. But that's changed under Milanovic.
You're right. And one word that I like with patience also could relate to the Saskatchewan secondary, right? Because by my count, there was about 3 plays where they had the ball in their hands. And Coach Mace talked a little bit about it earlier, in the fact that there were plays that were there to be made, and maybe you were a little too patient to come up and make that play. And I asked Marcus Sales about that as well, about those chances that they had and if they identified them through film work this week.
Yeah, well, I mean, we definitely, I mean, I don't know how many we touched, two or three. And, I mean, those are the ones we got to come up with. I mean, because the opportunities are only going to come so many times in a game. And if we're able to get 2, 3, or, however many in a game, we might get, have just as many as we did last year. So hopefully we can build on top of that. But we just got to make sure we catch those balls.
It's funny, Dave. There's that one Marcus Sales clip from last season that I see again and again where down around the Rider goal line, he has a sure interception, and for what it just bounces off his hands.
Well, yeah, and the one that Nelson Lacombo had, remember, he jumped the road, he came up, and like he was intent on batting that ball down, and I don't know that how much time he believed that he had, because I think that if he knew he had that split second more, he goes and catches it as opposed to batting it away.
It's easy for us to say sitting on the couch.
Oh yeah,
no one's running full on at us or whatever. But that one when Marcus Sales, I think it was a game or two in, and we had a chance. He was down by the goal line, and that one he just sort of the brick hands, and it bounced off. I thought Shane Ray, from what we saw of him last week, I thought Mike Rose, from what we saw, I mean, near the end of the game, and I think, was it the Jameer Thurman hit that we think is what injured Drew Brown? That's what I think it was, when he broke through the middle and then ended up getting the ball away. But I thought, to me, that was the play that Drew Brown didn't look the same after that.
I think that likely was it. Yeah. And again, he was running, he was scrambling. And again, that one, you're right, Jameer Thurman right up the middle, like that was a substantial blow that he took. And that was one of the question marks we had coming into the season, right? Was A, the Ottawa quarterbacking depth, and B, the Ottawa offensive line. They tried to address the offensive line, but just like the Roughriders, they had 2 veterans go down in training camp, including former Saskatchewan Roughrider Peter Godber. So
yeah,
interesting question, and times in Ottawa, and again, hopefully for Drew and Ottawa that he's not substantially hurt, right, and can shake it off.
The one thing we saw in the Calgary game on the weekend was Kenny Lawler dropping passes. Unfortunately, when he was a Winnipeg Blue Bomber playing against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, he didn't have that problem. So Kenny, if it's a Hamilton thing, please keep this up for another week. If you get it together by week 3, that doesn't bother us. But please, Dave, it was very uncharacteristic. And some of these weren't the 50-50 balls or the long bombs. It was 7 yards over the middle, in the hands, and drop. And I'm like, Bo, doesn't matter the name on the back of the jersey. Bo's got more receivers that are dropping passes and killing drives.
Well, and the one thing that caught my eye in that game, and I don't know, and again, this is just Dave vision, so it might be me zeroed in on the wrong thing. I thought that Calgary's secondary was quite physical with Kenny Lawler. And so sometimes knowing that you might get hit is almost as good as getting hit. And so I wondered if there was a couple of instances where, hey, where's this defender? Because I'm sure he's right here, right? So I don't know if that's truly what happened or not, but my assessment of the tape when I watched that, I thought, they're right on him, right on that line of scrimmage.
So as far as physical goes, is it Milligan that would be the most physical against a Lawler? Is it Tavon Campbell? Because Campbell's just a bigger guy than Milligan. I mean, you got Lacombo at safety, but they may keep him away from that. Who do you think would be the most physical in that Rider backfield to go up against Kenny Lawler, as far as if he was hearing footsteps? Who do the Rider footsteps have to come from?
You know what? All of those are options.
Yeah.
Again, that's a great problem to have, right? All of them are options, but CJ Rivas, also, you got to throw into that mix too, right? He is a physical player when he's on the football field. And again, I don't know. Again, I think it's a very physical group all around, whether you're including the linebackers in the secondary or not. Like DeMarcus Fields has gone ahead and he got up there a couple of times last game. So, boy, there are so many options in that secondary for being physical, and they all bring it anyway.
Because the one thing we do know this about Kenny Lawler, no matter who's playing for, he causes matchup problems, because there's usually, maybe if there's only one guy on him, someone else has also got secondary responsibility on a Kenny Lawler, which sometimes just that split second of taking the eye away can open it up. Because the other thing about the Ticats and the way that Ted Govea has built that roster, they have other weapons for Bo Levi Mitchell to use if, primary one is covered. And that's what the 400 last week, nothing against Geno Lewis had an okay game. Did you see that the same way? He wasn't outstanding. He didn't kill the Riders. It was a collective group getting that 400, right?
Yeah, I would agree. It was absolutely collective. And the fact that they didn't run the ball very much at all, right? That's going to add up to your yardage total as well, because everybody's going to get yards in a game. It's just how you get those yards. And when you only put up 30 yards of rushing offense, then a lot of it's going to come from the passing game, but not to discredit anything that Ottawa did. But also in saying that, if you go back to our YouTube page, check out our website, sportscage.com. If you go there and you see the videos from our pregame show, right? The pregame coverage that we had with Tavon Campbell, the one thing that you're going to see with Tavon is that he talks about there's no strong side, weak side necessarily when it comes to the secondary. They played left, right. So everyone, like you say, was responsible.
All right. The Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation 50-50 is back this season. There's early bird prizes every game to be won. This week, you can win the Calgary Stampede experience. Flights to Calgary, hotel, tickets to the Stampede Rodeo, Chuck Wagons, and Grandstand Show, or you can take $3,600 cash. You can buy your tickets now at riders5050.ca. All right, we're going to take a break. Oh, by the way, tomorrow around 3:20, 3:30, Rick Zamperin, play-by-play guy of the Ticats, will join the show. We'll go inside Hamilton in depth and chat with them. And week 2 kicks off tomorrow night as well. BC Lions to take on the Bombers, and that will be a Zach Colero-less Winnipeg squad as he serves his 1-game suspension for dodging his drug test. So it's going to be a Chris Strevler-led Bomber team. That'll be tomorrow. Time to take a break. When we come back, we've got more from Curry Field. It's a special tribute night honoring the 75th anniversary of the Indian Head Rockets. This is the Sports Cage on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
Calling all skilled heavy-duty mechanics. Core Industrial Services has an exciting opportunity for you. They're hiring a full-time heavy-duty mechanic to join them at their 9,000-square-foot shop in Rocanville, Saskatchewan. As a heavy-duty mechanic, you're responsible for performing maintenance and repairs on a wide range of equipment, from heavy machinery to light trucks and more. At Core Industrial Services, they believe in the power of teamwork. Apply today on their website at coreindustrial.ca or call them at 306-745-4844. Core Industrial Services, where expertise meets opportunity. Apply now.
I'm Bailey Shikanik, Prairie Claims Manager for Ag Direct Hail Insurance. Our team of professional and polite hail adjusters have one goal: to thoroughly inspect your crop damage and get you a payment that accurately represents your loss. It's that simple, and why shouldn't it be? Having settled thousands of claims to the satisfaction of our customers, I am proud to lead the Ag Direct Hail Claims team. Visit agdirecthail.com or call us toll-free. We appreciate your business.
Get ready, Canada. The Saskatoon two-day auction is coming June 17th and 18th, and it's shaping up to be one for the record books. This is the largest agriculture auction in Western Canada, featuring over 80 combines, 100-plus headers, 30-plus ag tractors, 8 sprayers, and 60-plus truck tractors. You'll also find grain trailers, pickups, cars, SUVs, something for everyone. Extended yard viewing all weekend prior. This is a can't-miss event for farmers, dealers, and buyers. Download the RBA app or visit rbauction.com. Ritchie Brothers, Saskatoon. Don't miss it.
He's at it again. Matt's sharpening his pencil to save you money at Matt's Furniture. Now till June 25th, save on the largest capacity French door refrigerators with Whirlpool. Get the 36-inch French door refrigerator with interior filtered water dispenser for just $18.99, or upgrade with the ice maker for $2,099. Check out the Whirlpool 47 dBA dishwasher with third rack for just $8.99, and see the selection of Whirlpool microwaves and electric ranges. Matt's Furniture in Fort Capel, Kamsack, Melville, and Foam Lake, or online at mattsfurniture.ca.
Howdy, Wood Country Woody again. You know, you and me ain't so different. We both love to sit on a sunny deck with a cool beverage instead of sanding the thing all the time. And when I heard TimberTech composite decking material is super low maintenance, well, that sold me right there. They didn't even need to mention that it features a sweet little hidden fastener system, or that they also have the treated lumber that goes underneath. It's easy, it's pretty, it's TimberTech from Wood Country.
Your home is your castle.
In McLean, Estevan, and Tisdale, wood-country.com.
Employee pricing has arrived at Crestview Chrysler with the 100 Years in Canada event. That means $99 per week on a new 2025 Jeep Compass. Financing as low as 0% for 72 months on select Ram 1500s. Save up to $26,000 on the new Dodge Durango Hellcat. Or get into a new 2024 Dodge Hornet for as low as $38,995. Take your pick, boss. It's employee pricing. Only for a limited time at Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
You say
move,
and your cows say you tell them
your water is right over there,
and they say you can't convince a cow to move to the water, so move the water to the cows with the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System. With the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System, you can put your pump pretty much anywhere without the cost of hooking up to the grid. Learn more about the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System at kelnsolar.com. Keln Solar, we move water.
Welcome back to Sportscage. Connect with the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262.
The Sportscage is brought to you by Regina Motor Products. The RMP summer offer is on now until August 31st. You can receive a $25 SOE gift card when you buy a vehicle health check and oil change package. Visit RMP today. It's Maz here. Dave Thomas is live at Curry Field. It's a special night as the Regina Red Sox get ready to honor the 75th anniversary of the Indian Head Rockets. Tonight, the Regina Red Sox, as the Indian Head Rockets, will take on the Florida Cubans, the Swift Current 57s. First pitch goes at 7, and Dave Thomas joined now with some special guests down at Curry Field. It's some of the guys that were on the team 75 years ago.
Heck with that, 75 years ago. I'm here to introduce you to the starting pitcher tonight. Nat Bates is here, as is our second baseman, Willie Reed. Gentlemen, welcome back to Saskatchewan.
Oh, thank you so much. Very pleased.
Has it changed at all since 1952?
Not for me.
Well, you've been here more recently.
Yeah, I've been here. This is my third trip in the last 3 years, I guess. But each time I come here, it's just beautiful. And the reception is so outstanding. And, I couldn't ask for anything better.
Nat Bates, the gentleman you just heard from, is also a member of the Saskatchewan Baseball Hall of Fame. And to his right, sitting here at the table with us on the radio, is Willie Reed, played second base. But this is your first time back since 1950, isn't it?
That's for sure, yes. I was coming back with Nat at the same time, but I had to have surgery, so I couldn't make it. I'm so happy to be here now, though.
How remarkable is it that you guys, former teammates, are back in Saskatchewan for this? When you got the call, let's go all the way back to the 1950s, and someone calls and says, hey, we would like you to come play for an Indian Head baseball team in Saskatchewan, Canada. What was your initial reaction, Willie?
Well, my reaction was I had been here with the California Mohawks in 51, and we decided to come back in 52 with the Indian Head Rockets. And it was a pleasure to be on an all-black baseball team, some from the South and some from California. So we really enjoyed it.
Nat, when you got that call, what do you remember?
Well, it was exciting. We had a fairly successful season with Medicine Hat. At the time, they were Mohawks. Now they've changed it to Medicine Hat Mavericks. But it was 5 of us that were Contra Costa College athletes. Willie Reed, of course, and then we have Pumpsie Green, who later went to the Boston Red Sox. Emmett Neal, who unfortunately was killed in Korea, and Winters Calvin and myself. So when we joined the Indian Head Rockets, all we wanted to do was play baseball. We didn't have any idea it was going to be an all-black team. But in fact, when we got there, the players started coming in. We said, well, where's the rest of the players? And they said, this is it. It's an all-black team. Okay, we just want to play baseball and pursue our career as far as we could.
So, Willie, you come to Indian Head. What are your memories about the baseball and the community as a whole? Because, again, groundbreaking is what some people talk about when they talk about all black baseball in Saskatchewan. What would you describe it as?
Well, I was so pleased with the fans. The fans are nothing like the fans in California. I mean, Canadian people really love baseball, and they treated us just like we've been here before. It wasn't a surprise to them, but to us it was.
Now, Nat, you were a pitcher. The game might have changed a little bit. I can't believe it. Like, you must have played on that team when you were 4 or 5 years old, like how you do today. But boy, I tell you, what was it like pitching in those tournaments? And again, probably a lot different than today.
Well, like Willie indicated, that we were from California, where racial tension was not as bad as it has been in the southern part of the United States, Texas, Alabama, and Mississippi. And when we got here to Canada, the interesting thing was that your ancestors, they just showered us with nothing but appreciation, respect, and love. Something that we hadn't experienced to that degree, even in California. And to go out and pitch in front of a fan base like that, it was just fantastic. And not only did they support us 100% when we went home, we go travel to Swift Current, to Lethbridge and Edmonton. The fans would follow us, and was just like family.
Wow. And now, of course, there is a remarkable story that can be told at the Indian Head Museum, and it's an opportunity for people to learn. And I was talking with Gary Brotzel earlier about how my own children were absolutely amazed that something A, like this happened in Saskatchewan, or B, that there was even a tension or a concern where race was involved in baseball and that athletes couldn't play. When you look back at it, Willie, again, coming up just wanting to play the game, was that just what was at the forefront? Because you watch the movies about Frank Robinson, and he talks about all that he faced. Is it bigger than just baseball?
Speaking of Frank Robinson, we played baseball against Frank at an early age.
Did you beat him?
Yes.
Okay, good enough.
Oh, yes, definitely. Well, we had a semi-pro team that was like an all-star team.
Yeah.
We made our share of wins and so forth. But, that's the thing that I was happy about and so forth.
So, Nat, maybe when you get an opportunity to see these players that are out here kind of following in your footsteps, right? Living the dream, wanting just to play baseball, what do you say to these athletes when you get an opportunity to talk to them?
Well, my first comment would probably be that, look, play the game as hard as you can. Learn from the game. Respect your coaches. Learn discipline. Learn control. Learn how to respect your players because you're on a team with individuals that have different backgrounds, different ethnicity group, and learn from that. But more important, we can all win. We take win for granted, but also be strong enough how to take a loss. In life, we're not going to win every time we try to achieve something, but don't be bitter. Be humble. Don't be egotistical. Just play the game as hard as you can. Go as far as you can. And more important, not everybody's going to make it to the major leagues. But the experience that you learn in baseball and sports in general is how to work with other people to be successful later on in life, whether you're a school teacher, a police officer, whomever. Those are, I think, attributes that will make you successful in life.
Willie, give me a memory that stands out from your time playing in Canada, in Saskatchewan, in Indian Head. Is there a moment that will be forever burned into your memory?
Well, one memory is at Calgary, we played a doubleheader one day in a tournament, and we had a lot of tournaments. We did. Pumps Green was on our team and so forth. And now, after that, he went to the Boston Red Sox. But we had a doubleheader, and Pumpsy had a fantastic game. And I think he got bat for maybe 10 times, and I think he got 8 hits. So that was fantastic. That's something I've never seen before. Just really enjoyed it.
Nat, is there a memory?
Yes, I'd say that we played in a lot of games, but a lot of tournaments where the prizes was $25,000, 15, and so forth. And we won a significant amount of those tournaments. Of course, we were very happy about it. But the interesting thing is our management was a little cheap.
You won $25,000 in 1952, and they were cheap. Okay.
Well, they were cheap, and the players never got into that money that we were winning all those tournaments. We playing 15,000, 10, 12, 25, and all we got was a thank you, good job, and that was sort of humorous. But it was not about the money; it was about the achievement and the success, and working as a team and as a unit. And I thought that we did remarkably well with the combination of players. We didn't fight among ourselves. We rooted for each other. The fans rooted for all of us. And interesting, too, we would go into Saskatchewan, like Lethbridge, Moose Jaw, Swift Current. And if the fans appreciated and they didn't boo us, like some teams in the United States, you either for them or against them. You boo the visiting team and you root for the winning team, the home team. But Canadian fans were very sport, and if you did a good job, they appreciated, and they would applaud the visiting team just like it was their own team.
Willie, what's it like? You see the jersey beside you? You got the hat on right now. What was it like pulling that on for the first time in a while?
It's amazing. Yesteryear, playing baseball, my mind was on doing the best I could at all times. Never in a lifetime that I would think that this would happen to me now. I'm proud of myself, but I never thought I'd be honored like you guys here honor me. And I think it's fantastic, and I love it.
Nat, I don't know if you looked in the mirror, but you look pretty good in that jersey. Like I said, the starting pitcher tonight. Watch out, right?
Yeah, if they need a reliever tonight, I'll be ready.
Ready to spin it, eh? Okay.
And I'll go back to the hotel if he does.
I just want to thank the Red Sox organization for and Robin and Carol and it's so many that have put this together. It wasn't done by one person. But that's the kind of unity that we found in Canada throughout our playing career. Teamwork. And they have put on a magnificent job of representing the citizenry and respecting what we tried to accomplish 75 years ago. And, Will and I both are going to be 94 in the next 3 or 4 months. And I can't think of a more rewarding experience and a more appreciative experience that what the Canadians in Saskatchewan have done in putting this together. So I want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart.
Well, I know that there's a lot of people that are in Indian Head that are cheering you on because that's the way it goes in Saskatchewan, right? Once you've been here, you're always welcome back. And we're grateful to see both of you back. And Willie, again, there might be folks out in Indian Headway right now that are saying, hey, I know that. I remember that name. What would you say to people?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I did what I could. And anytime that I'm on the baseball field, I'm giving it my all.
Well, it is terrific to meet you gentlemen. It is a very worthy tribute that is going to happen tonight with the Indian Head Red Rockets here at Curry Field. We thank you for coming back, and again, for all that you've done for the game, because not only did you benefit, so did the youth that were inspired by what you guys did on the field. It's absolutely sensational, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And I want to thank you for making us feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And you're doing a good job. Very good.
Well, thank you. I'm still waiting for Nat to go pitching tonight, so I can't wait for that. The call go lefty or righty? Righty, right?
Righty.
Yeah. When the call goes to the right of the pen, the Swift Current 57 better watch out.
That's right. We beat up on Swift Current when we were playing in the 50s, and Regina's going to do that tonight, too.
There you go. Predictions, too. We've got it all here. And again, first pitch coming up at 7 o'clock tonight. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Enjoy your evening. We need to take a break. We'll come back with more. This is the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
Okay, thank you.
In the heart of Regina, Real District isn't just a place to celebrate, but to experience thoughtfully designed moments that unite us. The Real District is Canada's largest event complex, serving as the central hub for sports, business, and entertainment in the community. Regularly hosting concerts, trade shows, conventions, and community events. Every detail from behind the scenes to main stage highlights reflects the connections we value and the extraordinary memories we create together as a community. Real District, designed to bring us together. The 17th Annual Jazz Fest Regina 2025 is June 19th to 24th. Welcome summer fun of 6 days and nights with several headliner concerts featuring Shuffle Demons, Anthony D'Alessandro Quintet featuring Benny Benack III, Rhythm and Blues Review, the Ted Warren Sextet, the Christine Jansen Quartet, and the Lorraine DeMarie Trio. Plus, Sunday, June 22nd, the Jazz Brunch with the U of R 50th Anniversary Alumni, All-Star Big Band, and Multicultural Day to follow. Tickets at jazzfestregina.ca.
Let there be light. Introducing Green Frog Canada.
Did someone say Green Frog?
Not that Green Frog. Green Frog Solar Systems. Great for communities, small towns, city parks, and bike trails. As you walk along the path, the light brightens, then dims as you walk away, saving energy and allows you to see further. Proven to work in Saskatchewan weather and dark sky compliant. Federal grant is available.
Turns out it is easy being green.
GreenFrogCanada.ca, a division of Meadowman. You think, we do.
Farm Boy Realty has 5 quarters of land in a block for sale east of Tyvant. 3 quarters are listed on the Morrisky farmland tender until June 17th. 2 quarters are available on MLS listing. All quarters are in hay and have been seeded in the last 5 years. This is your chance to buy a 5-quarter block of land for hay or grain production. Call Guy at Farm Boy Realty, 434-8857. That's 434-8857. FarmBoyRealty.com.
Get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
It's good to be home.
Mom, what's for dinner? Can we get pizza?
Before Mom even had a chance to get annoyed, she recognized the good idea one of her kids actually had.
Not bad. Not bad.
After a long day when you don't feel like cooking, think Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or takeout. Order today.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
You see Johnson got a new truck?
Yeah.
Not too shabby, eh?
Nope.
What else is there to talk about? Palliser Direct Online Hail Insurance. It's that easy. Save up to 13% on your crop hail rates this year when you purchase online through Palliser Direct. Insurance has never been easier. Visit PalliserInsurance.com anytime, anywhere.
Have you been out to the new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer? That's Southie Mainline Chrysler, the newest king of trucks, just 30 minutes north of Regina. They're the small town feel with bigger than city discounts where customers show up and leave feeling like family. With the selection of the entire Mainline Automotive Group, it will be tough for them not to find you your perfect vehicle at the best price in Saskatchewan. Southie Mainline, just 30 minutes from Regina. It's worth the drive every time. Guaranteed.
Get ready, Canada. The Saskatoon two-day auction is coming June 17th and 18th, and it's shaping up to be one for the record books. This is the largest agriculture auction in Western Canada, featuring over 80 combines, 100-plus headers, 30-plus ag tractors, 8 sprayers, and 60-plus truck tractors. You'll also find grain trailers, pickups, cars, SUVs, something for everyone. Extended yard viewing all weekend prior. This is a can't-miss event for farmers, dealers, and buyers. Download the RBA app or visit rbauction.com. Ritchie Brothers Saskatoon. Don't miss it.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. Powered by Prairie Land Rentals. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that spring or summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner. 600 Albert Street. Welcome back to Sportscage. Get social with us. Follow us on X at Sportscage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620 CKRM.
SL's pick the score. You can win rider tickets and a $200 gift card from SaskTel if you pick the correct or closest to score of the rider game this Saturday in Hamilton. Colson, I'll give you a second here to get yourself ready. Do you remember, you have it written down in your black book, what score did Darian pick back on Monday for the Ticat game this weekend? So while you're looking for that, text your first and last name along with your score prediction to 306-936-6262. So bang on wins or closest to if nobody gets it. Tickets to an upcoming game, $200 gift card from SaskTel. Darian thought it was going to be high scoring, right?
No. He said 28-24 for Saskatchewan.
Well, that's high score. That's 54 points. That's high scoring, right? What? When I said high scoring, what did you think? Like it was going to be like a 60.
When I hear high scoring, I think one team's at least making to 30 usually, but
okay.
Maybe
I was thinking the
spoiled.
Just a second.
Modern
here.
high scoring
What's
football.
Just a second here. So what's the date on Saturday? Is that the 15th?
I think that's right.
No. 14th.
14th.
It's just I'm just checking my score app. What's the previous matchup? Well, they don't have the odds yet. I wanted to see what the over was. They don't have it yet. Not where I'm looking. I'm not going to sign up for your gambling app. Gambling is addictive. Come on. There's a lot of other things that can bring, right? You got to say that, like when you run gambling ads, you got to run the anti-gambling ads. Say, hey, listen, if you gamble, that can be addictive.
By the way,
you got to have yin. You got to have yang. All right.
Same with pharmaceutical ads, where it's like, by the way, here's all the side effects.
Yeah, and now it's 40 seconds of side effects, 10 seconds of name, and only 10 seconds of benefits. So, really, is it a benefit? So, when we started the show, I said we could be talking about possibly baseball. Done. Drinking beer, done. Eating hot dogs, done. Music, done. We talked to Brad Johnner in hour number 2. Mullets. Getting fined for being bad at work. Jake Wallman from the Oilers got fined $10,000 for his antics in Game 3. Unsportsmanlike conduct and roughing. Getting punched in the face. We didn't run the Matthew Tkachuk clip. We'll play that tomorrow. But he says basically, you want to win a cup, you got to get punched in the face and be okay with it. The Netflix show Tires. Have you seen that? It's so funny. Shane Gillis. Man.
Oh, I haven't seen it, but I have heard of it now that you mention it.
And there's a Canadian connection. A guy named Ryan is in the show. Some dude from Alberta. Fighting fellow Oiler fans. There was more fights on YEG Wave. There was a fight. Somebody got knocked out, unfortunately, at the watch party at Rogers Arena the other night in Edmonton. And then there showed a rumble out in the moss pit. And it was women. I'm like, come on. Jason Aldean's set list. It's coming to Craven. It's outstanding. It's 24 songs. Whew. Betting money you don't have. That was golf. Scotty Scheffler. And John Party tonight playing at the Brandt Center. That should be good. I like John Party. He's a real cowboy. Like he's a roper, like a team roper and stuff. Like grew up in California ranching. So like he's like a lot of dudes, Colson in Nashville, wearing a hat that are phonies. Not a phony. Dude looks like he could handle himself, drink whiskey, rope steers when needed to, and sing a great country song. He brings his Hollywood Honky Tonk tour tonight to the Brandt Center. If you're going, have one on me. And if you're buying merch, I'll take a medium black t-shirt, please. Thanks. That's the show for today. If you've missed any of it, all of it will live forever in podcast form. Whether you want to watch video, because that's just who you are, you can go to our YouTube channel at sportscage.com, or if you want to catch the audio version, Apple or Spotify, and like and subscribe. When the new episodes come, they'll automatically show up in your feed. That'll do it for the Sports Cage tonight. For Dave Thomas at Curry Field, Colson back at Century Studios, it's Maz here. Have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 3.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saturday is game day as the Riders take on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Dunk and Tegan Whitco's at 2. The pregame show's at 4. And kickoff with Luke Mullender and I is at 5. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by your Saskatchewan Ag Code dealers, Quality Tire, and SaskTel. Stream every moment of Rider football at sportscage.com.
The auction action takes us to Langenburg, Saskatchewan for the farm retirement auction of Carlos Van Cassile. Online bidding happens June 11th through the 16th. Bid on items like a 1992 Case 9230 4-wheel drive, 2002